Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver.
What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends, or just really,
really average
average fans, because that's what I am. That's what I am. I think Dannon did a lot better than he thinks he did, but we both lost. The sign behind us, it says, "I suck at fantasy football," and it's so true. I suck at fantasy football.
This week I really sucked at fantasy football.
No, come on, man. You scored like 100.
Bad, though.
He scored like 130 points. He played a guy that scored like 160. And
he scored the most in the league.
Oh, did he? He was Mason. You played Mason, yeah, and he did. He scored 170. I scored 100 points. I was lucky that Josh Jacobs scored 2 touchdowns, and I scored 100 points. I was garbage. But I mean, we're gonna get into it. I kind of, there are things that I want to blame it on, not blame it on, but there's things that I think help that. One of which being matchups, and it's going to happen more and more as this year goes on. This first week is great because it gives us a their defense sucks, or
and that's one of the hardest things about going into week one is you don't really know what these defenses are going to look like, who's going to be good, who's going to be. I mean, we can judge it on last season. Obviously, Pittsburgh's defense is still very good, apparently, but that's kind of why Josh Allen didn't play so well,
right? Well, in the Pittsburgh Buffalo game, I would say the Charger Washington game, even the Cleveland. I mean, Kansas City got going later, but fantasy wise, it was kind of any of those games that had good defensive play going on. Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Washington, Chargers. It was a great football game to watch. Watching those games was very entertaining. Fantasy wise, it sucked because they were defensive games. They weren't really throwing it a lot. They weren't. Also, it seemed like across the board, no running backs really went off.
Not a lot of running back points,
which is natural in the first week.
I would say, again, it's week one. You don't panic. We don't know shit yet.
Yeah. No, I'm still gonna win. I'm still gonna win the whole thing. And I think mostly is because I trust that I'm gonna do work. Now's the time when you get your butt kicked. It's the best in fantasy
when
football.
The waiver wire comes into
time.
play.
Now it's time.
That's what this is all about.
Get in the waiver wire and really. So I have the board already up here. We want to just talk a little bit about what happened this week. Look at the colors.
We're colors. We got colors.
We are
fucking high tech and shit. Yeah.
A whiteboard with multiple colors on it. You're welcome. So the first game of the week, my man, don't give my man a minute and a half. What are you, fucking crazy?
Right.
When I saw them lining up to kick the field goal, I was
knew it was gonna happen.
What are you doing? What? In what world does he not walk down this field and at least get a field goal? I was pretty sure they might have scored.
Didn't he get in field goal range with
he threw 3 balls out of bounds just because he was trying to burn the clock. And Bruce Arians is freaking out, and you could see Tom Brady's face. He's like, chill, bro. Trust me.
I didn't watch it. I didn't get to watch it. I was working, but
no, I was at work too, but I got to see the end of the game, and I saw that where they kicked it with a minute and a half, and I was like, this is a wrap. This is over. But Dallas,
don't give Tom Brady a minute and a half.
Don't give him a minute and a half.
All he needs is a field goal.
Yeah. Don't ever give that man time on the clock. Don't give him 30 seconds. You need to give him less than 10 seconds if you want to win the game against Tom Brady. Because if you give him a window, the man is a miracle worker. He's going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
But Dallas looked really good. They impressed me.
Dallas has a really good offense. They've had a good offense whenever Dak is healthy.
Yeah, but there were guys I didn't believe in. And CeeDee Lamb started the game off rough. He had a couple of drops. He really looked like he was really going to be the bust that I thought he was. But then he turned out, the rest of the game, he balled out. Michael Gallup had a good game.
He got
Amari
hurt.
Cooper's good. Gallup got hurt.
Amari Cooper, shit.
Yeah, no, he's
he
good.
went a little bit later in drafts than.
And it's because we don't really know how long Amari Cooper is going to do this for.
He was hurt,
where he's streaky, where he's well, no, even games that he plays, there'll be games where he suits up the whole game and he'll get 2 catches for you, and it just won't.
But they should be a pretty good offense. Definitely one of the better offenses in the league.
I have him still second behind Washington. I still think, even though Ryan Fitzmagic went out.
Yeah, shit.
This brings up what we were talking about.
You like Heineke?
No, I like the fact that now they're forced to do one of these trades that we were talking about.
Yeah, looking now for one of them quarterbacks. Are you really? I don't know. I think your Matt Ryan one is intriguing because really, how valuable is Matt Ryan to Atlanta? I mean, he's pretty old, right?
And Atlanta looked terrible, So
horrible.
If you're Atlanta, you're like, we're not winning a Super Bowl. We might as well. We could get 3 first-round picks for it, probably. I would assume you could at least get 3 first-round picks.
Did you see that Houston? I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline, but it said that Houston turned down like 3 first-round picks for just.
They want 6. They want 6 players. They want 6 players. Are they insane? I think what it is they know that what Deshaun Watson is so valuable that if they really inflate the market and say like, okay, we want this, then whatever, then you're trying to sell real high. You're a used car salesman. You're like,
if someone's offering you that right now for him.
I know, but
3 first-round picks. Who gives a shit? He might be in prison.
That's a good point.
I mean, cut your losses.
Yeah, that's true.
Just cut your losses.
I know, but it's because I'm of the people too that believe that before this whole massage thing happened, it was more than 3
He's going to leave anyways.
Yeah.
Even if
in football you can hold on to him for a long time.
How long's his contract for?
His contract was for the next 4 seasons, and then you could tag him twice after that.
That's true.
So you could hold on to him for 6 years.
More years. And the really good starting quarterback is the most important thing.
And when
in
he's
the NFL.
when he's playing, he's top 5.
If he's playing, the Texans have a chance to win. Yep. But
the division.
Yeah, we kind of got off track, but anyways, we were talking about Dallas, and we got on the Texans.
Dallas did good, but again, the Buccaneers look nasty, bro. Antonio Brown looked really good. So you
believe in Gronk?
I believe in Gronk, of course. He's the greatest tight end.
How long is that sustainable?
It doesn't have to be. He's going to do what he did in New England.
Definitely worth picking up as someone if he wasn't drafted.
If he's on your waiver wire, definitely go get Gronk. He's not in any of mine, but if he's out there, go get him.
He's in that other league I'm in because there's no tight end position.
I think the other thing too is that in games where maybe Brady is unsure of some of the other guys, he trusts Gronk. So he's going to throw to him. Push comes to shove.
Yeah.
He's going to check down to him at least 3 or 4 times. And you'll get better than what I did out of your tight end position, which is Robert Tonyan. Thanks for the 2 points, Robert. Thanks for really sucking all the dicks, Green Bay. Way to go, Green Bay.
Anybody with Packers is pissed.
I talked about it where I was like, this is the weirdest season ever. Like, I basically talked about them, and then I drafted his tight end thinking like,
well, that was a late round flyer. You just waited so long.
I waited so long. And a lot of the tight ends that I wanted got taken. So
well, I mean, he's no TJ Hopkins.
God damn it, boy, were you right? Boy, were you right? It's all Goff has. It's the only receiver that he's got, and he went to him a lot. So Tampa Bay beats Dallas 31-29.
And who's the best receiver in Tampa Bay? Who do you want? Like if you're redrafting,
fantasy wise, I think I did the right thing with Chris Godwin. I really do.
Yeah.
I think Mike Evans is going to get you touchdowns.
Well, see, that's the thing. And if Gronk's getting these touchdowns, Mike Evans and Gronk, I think, are going to steal each other's touchdowns.
Yeah, I do too.
And but
Godwin still got
it's going to be matchup dependent.
But Godwin got a touchdown. He had.
Well, I don't think Godwin's going to be matchup dependent necessarily.
No,
because he can hit those long ones.
He also, he went to Antonio Brown a lot. If Antonio Brown is somehow magically out there in your waiver wire, you for sure go get him.
No fucking way.
That dude was fast too. He had a couple.
He looked good, and we talked about that too. That a few years ago, Antonio Brown was the number 1 pick overall.
Yeah, now he's like third
fiddle.
fiddle.
He was the third Tampa Bay receiver getting drafted, and that value-wise, he might be the best one.
But both running backs in this,
I think we talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
I was
both running backs in this game. Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones put the ball on the ground and got benched. And Zeke didn't look good either. I think Zeke is exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about used cars. That dude got used.
So you think Pollard's more valuable? Because I bet Pollard might be out there in a couple of leagues.
I think Pollard could be out there in a couple of leagues, and I'm not against what you're saying with Pollard, but I will say it doesn't excite me. I wouldn't if I had Pollard.
Zeke would have to go down for him to be valuable.
Yeah. And even then, I'm only looking at if it's a bad matchup. And I'm looking at how bad is the defense that they're facing. I would have Pollard like on my bench, but I wouldn't be like, I'm gonna
their run game's gonna get better. They're gonna get their offensive. They're missing 2 starting offensive linemen right now. Right?
I don't know. I kind of saw this as like this is the best you're gonna get out of Dallas. I don't know if it gets.
They played really well though.
They played good, but
they're gonna score a lot of points, and if they get a team scoring a lot of points, there's gonna be a lot of fantasy points there.
I guess. Well. Either way, Tampa Bay is going 17-0, and they started their journey with 1-0. Tom Brady. So the first thing we got to bring up is that you called it. You picked the Texans.
I'm a genius, obviously.
No, but I mean, I think they surprised everybody.
Except for me.
Yeah, except for you. They surprised a lot of.
Well, let's not forget that Jacksonville was the worst team in the league last year,
and Jacksonville is still bad.
And the Texans aren't gonna, as much as we think that they're gonna be bad. I mean, honestly, I think they're gonna win the Super Bowl. 17-0 now. Tyrod Taylor, MVP.
All right.
Of the fucking league.
Hey, listen,
Houston Texans.
Najee Harris. You know, if I can do Najee Harris, then you can say whatever you want. So,
but in all seriousness, they're gonna
do better than I thought.
At least I didn't realize Lovie Smith was their defensive coordinator.
I haven't really paid attention to him, to be honest, because
I haven't either.
So
but their defense played really well. Yeah, and frustrated a rookie quarterback. And
Trevor Lawrence. So I have Trevor Lawrence on my bench. I started Justin Herbert. By the way, you're right. It is Herbert. It's not
ESPN or something. They were calling him Herbert.
Well, then we got to get this together.
I just said, remember, well, so
that's like
there was
Cajun, right?
There was who was it? I think he played for New Orleans, a quarterback for them back in the day. It was Herbert.
Oh, yeah? Well, anyways, I started Herbert, but I had Trevor Lawrence on my bench, and Trevor Lawrence actually put up more points, obviously, because it was a weird game with the Chargers and Washington.
And again, Washington's a good defense.
But Trevor Lawrence might be an option for me going forward if I don't like the matchup with Justin Herbert. He could end up putting up good numbers just in garbage.
Right, like you said. I mean, if you're going to let the Texans put up 30-something points against you, then the chances are Jacksonville's going to be behind. Yeah. So, and then there could be some receivers you're looking at. You might have a few Jacksonville receivers. Marvin Jones Jr.
Jones looked all right.
He would be up there. People you could pick up.
I would be worried starting a Jacksonville receiver.
I'm not suggesting it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you're looking for a receiver,
if you're in trouble,
and you're in a deep league or you don't know, that you could definitely look at that and they will get better. Again, all the offenses will get better. Like it takes a few weeks, right? They should, right? Okay, maybe not all of them, but the good offense. There's some good offenses that had some really rough weeks this week that
are just starting off and they're just trying to fill it out
over the next.
This is what happens week 1. Yeah.
Yep.
So then we had Philly and Atlanta.
Hold on, we should probably talk. Are we gonna do the waiver wire things now since we did the last one?
Who's on the waiver wire
for those two teams? Like anybody that you think, because we kind of did on the first one. Anybody you want, might as well just do it while we're walking through.
I'm sure that there is a lot too on those two teams, but
so the only ones the ones that I can think of. I mean, we talked briefly about the Jacksonville receivers. Maybe Marvin Jones Jr. is out there and you could get it. I can't think of anybody else. No. I'm not really excited about Carlos Hyde. Maybe Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence might be out there.
Yeah.
And if you're in need of a quarterback, he might be something.
It might be something, but you're it's a reach.
But Houston wise, there was obviously Mark Ingram.
Would you want that?
Oh, we got it, but we're just saying, like, if you're looking it's definitely somebody's out there thinking about picking up Mark Ingram. So I wouldn't do it.
There's such a committee though.
They were
make me nervous.
He got the most snaps, but he got 26 at rushing attempts. Like almost every time Houston ran the ball, it was Mark Ingram rushing it. He also got a touchdown, but game script came into play. How many times is Houston going to be destroying their opponent?
Yeah, they were
where they're running the ball a lot. And he also got a touchdown. So I wouldn't do it. It's definitely something to keep your eye on. If you are in need, if you're in a deeper league and you need a running back, I would he's definitely somebody to pick up because there's not a lot of running backs out there this week.
I'll go back to that. I, again, don't want offenses that I don't really believe in. And the Texans prove me wrong. It's not that I don't think the Texans offense is going to be bad this year. Maybe they are going to be serviceable, but I could see some matchups coming up in their schedule because they do have a hard schedule. So I could see some games coming up where I would be like,
Tyrod Taylor put up some good numbers.
He did.
He does. He is a serviceable quarterback if you need a quarterback. And then one that I didn't realize is there's a tight end, Pharaoh Brown. Is that his name?
I mean, listen, I can use all the help and tight end advice that
he had like 9 targets or some shit.
Because I don't have a tight end. I have Robert Tonyan, who is not a tight end. Apparently, he's just out there.
I know you said stay off my phone, but
and then I had Mike Gesicki on the Dolphins.
Gesicki, how did he do?
He got 0 points.
Yeah, not too good.
Goose egg, not a single point.
So here, I'm just gonna look this up real quick, just because.
Okay, well, I'll go to the next. I'll go to the next game. So that was Houston and Jacksonville. I think we covered any waiver wire people that maybe are out there. Were on those teams. Again, I'm not super excited about either one of them.
Four targets.
I don't know if I'd listen to anything that I have to fucking say anyway.
Pharaoh Brown had.
That being said, thank you DraftKings for supporting us. Obviously, we give out the best information.
Thanks, DraftKings. You're the best.
If you drafted like I did, you killed it this week. So there's Philly and Atlanta. This one was a surprising game, not because I thought Atlanta was going to win, but I didn't know they would look like fucking dog shit. I didn't know they would.
They looked terrible. I watched a little bit of that game before I went to work, and it was just it's hard to watch.
Jalen Hurts looked all pro, and I don't know.
Hurts looked good.
It's one of those games where I don't know if the Eagles are really good or the Falcons are really that bad. I think it's maybe the latter. I think it's that the Falcons are just
could be a mixture of both.
Yeah, it could be. But I mean,
I drafted Jalen Hurts. He's sitting on my bench and outscored Josh Allen this week.
There's a running back on Philly. His name's Gainwell. I think it's Philip Gainwell, and he's somebody that's definitely out there in the waiver wire. And it was interesting. They used him a lot in the red zone. It seemed like they were going to him a lot. He's a rookie, and
I think that he basically split time.
Now Miles Sanders is going to have the better stats but it's a good idea if Sanders goes down. Yeah, he's obviously the number 2.
I didn't write him down. I forget why I didn't.
No, he was
definitely one that I was thinking about when I was writing people down, but he didn't make my list.
Yeah, and there's some. Obviously Devontae Smith is not going to be out there, and he looked really good.
No,
but
Jalen Reagor
might be. He might be, and if he is, he looked. Honestly, the Philly looked better than I thought. Their defense was still good. Brandon Graham was still getting tackles in the backfield, and I was impressed. I was like, okay, well, Atlanta's doo-doo, but at least you beat doo-doo.
And there's really not anybody on it. I mean, if he's probably going to still – I mean, you're obviously still starting Ridley.
Oh, yeah. Ridley, and Kyle Pitts looked good. If you have him as tight end. And then
probably, your running back. Although Cordero Patterson got quite a bit of work in that backfield.
That seems that doesn't seem.
What if their starter goes down? Cordero
Davis.
He was like a wide receiver.
Yeah, for the Bears
for a long time.
Yeah,
return guy.
I don't know. The Falcons.
Cordero Patterson maybe if
Matt Ryan might be out there. I wouldn't do it now, but it might be interesting if you hear trade rumors based on if GMs are watching the waiver wire, which we know they are.
I don't know why they wouldn't be.
Yeah, of course they are. I mean, we have 100 views on the first one.
We talked about this.
Yeah. You don't think
we're talking about it?
You don't think one of those 100 is not a GM of a team? You're
probably 32 of the 100.
Yeah, it's probably all of the team. They're passing it around to their friends. That's probably the only people that have watched it.
You gotta listen to the people that know what they're talking about.
Yeah, so Philly, Atlanta, kind of a weird game. Kind of two teams that I don't really see doing that well. Later on in the year, I would definitely avoid Atlanta. Atlanta might have the worst record.
Everybody in Philly thinks the Eagles are going to win that division now.
I don't know about that.
Jalen Hurts, MVP.
Okay, so the next game was one of the best games of the week, and it was the one that broke my heart, and it's Pittsburgh versus Buffalo. It broke my heart because as far as watching football, it was the most. I watched the Red Zone. I always watch it on the Red Zone. So the Red Zone is the channel that is going to switch it around. They never go to a commercial. You pretty much can see most of every game. They show you every score. They show you the momentum swings, the interceptions, fumbles, things like that. I honestly don't know how I watched football before it. Brought to you by NFL Red Zone. If NFL Red Zone calls me and I get free Red Zone, this has all been worth it.
I would some Red Zone. Yeah. That's probably I was looking up earlier. I was like, what do I have to do to be able to watch every game? Because I'd like to go back and watch everything.
They also switch it for you. It's so nice.
But I would like to actually sit down and watch the games.
You would think what you're saying is true, but okay. So then I recorded Monday Night Football and I watched the whole thing, but
you just get so bored.
There's some parts of the game that just you don't see any punts. You see no fucking kickers. I'll tell you that much. You see no kickers. You see exactly what.
I could always fast forward.
You can fast forward through the stuff, but having them do it, having them go, okay, so we got a little break in the game here. Let us take you over here to the Atlanta game. Watch what just happened in this game, and then they show you a touchdown.
If I wasn't going to work on Sundays and I was just going to sit down and watch football all day, then I would probably do it.
Well, actually, I think that's what happened is that I had to leave and take my wife to work. And that was what caused me to do so poorly because I wasn't there for my guys.
Do you talk to them?
Yeah, because I wasn't there, hyping them up, getting them going, cheering them on. They just fell apart.
I do that shit too. Yeah. Come on, I'm giving them a pep talk. Look, guys, we got one more quarter. I need
Pittsburgh
at least 6 points out of all of you.
Now, Pittsburgh and Buffalo, I knew early. I knew when I saw, and there was a defensive. They were going back and forth with.
It was definitely a more defensive game than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I know that they have good defenses, but I just thought the offenses were going to be better.
Yeah, but I
was wrong.
I kind of when I was looking at it the night before and thinking about my teams, I was like, I think I might have fucked up on a couple of matchups here. I have some good games, football games. You've got the Chargers in Washington, Justin Herbert. They won the game. Pittsburgh won the game.
Yeah.
The Chargers won the game. So it's not like I was wrong in picking Steelers or I was wrong in believing that this is going to be a good team. And that's why I do have positives coming out of this. They used Najee Harris a lot. He was out there for most of the game.
No, the whole game. Yeah. He played 100% of their snaps.
And there was a couple of runs that he broke out on, and he looked good on. This was a good team. There's going to be matchups. Yeah. There's going to be matchups coming up here where he's going to look a lot better. Where he'll
get more involved in the passing game. There'll be
He'll
be okay.
I still might have made a horrible mistake, and I don't know if I should have, especially because Alvin Kamara played well. But I will say,
and couldn't you have gotten?
I could have got Dalvin Cook as well, but Dalvin Cook, I mean.
He still played. He had a touchdown, didn't he?
He had a good statistical game, but he got some fumbles in there. He got to where I see Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook getting so much attention because of who they are. I think that's the other thing too, that when you become one of the top echelon running backs, you getting tackled is different. I don't know how to explain that, but it seems like when you tackle one of these running backs who you don't really know who they are, it's just form tackle. But it seems like when you're trying to tackle Zeke, you're like,
put more into it. Guy's leg because you gotta make sure he goes down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and because he's so good, you match the intensity.
And you don't want to get You don't want to be on Sports Center for the wrong reason.
Exactly. So Claypool, I had Claypool. He had a really nice catch. I was like, oh, here we go. It's about to get it going. But your boy Deontay Johnson, he got way more looks and way more.
I was going back and forth between do I start Courtland Sutton or Deontay Johnson. I went with Deontay Johnson, and that was the right decision.
Yeah, he played really well. Juju looked and I think that was what we both talked about was that, And again, I think, like you said, Pittsburgh's going to get better. And so their offense is going to get better, and they're going to throw the ball more, and they're going to run the ball more. So I saw positives I do have 2 Steelers. I've got Claypool and Najee Harris, so I'm kind of counting on them. But
and again, for the Bills
are tough.
They have a good defense, but also Pittsburgh's got a really good defense too. And so, Josh Allen's and Stephon Diggs, there's better days to come for them.
Yeah, so it was disappointing, but also I saw positives out of it. Obviously, I didn't win, and I scored really low, but the Steelers looked good, and that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought the Steelers would look good. Buffalo also looks good, though. They're both going to be top seeds in the AFC, I think. Waiver wire on both of those, I doubt anything's out there. Maybe Gabriel Davis on the Buffalo Bills. It seemed like he was the number 2 behind Stephon Diggs, and of course Cole Beasley's their slot guy. But Gabe Davis got a touchdown, and I think he probably had a good stat day. I wouldn't be crazy about starting him, but again, if Stephon Diggs goes down, he seems to be their next biggest option.
Deep league. Yeah.
And in Pittsburgh, I would assume most of their people. James Washington got a little bit of attention, and he got some catches, but I wouldn't want him. I wouldn't even want him on my bench because you can't trust that. I think the 3 people, the Juju Smith, the Claypool, and Deontay Johnson.
I don't have any Pittsburgh or Bills on
and Eric Ebron didn't have a good game, and so that if you did think, that where I could go find a tight end, I don't think Ebron's your answer either. But Pittsburgh Buffalo was one of the best games of the week. That was really fun to watch. And then Minnesota-Cincinnati. This was actually a really good game. It was a really good game. Joe Burrow
looked good.
Jamar Chase looked good.
Jamar Chase looked good.
You drafted Jamar Chase, but you were worried about him.
Yeah, well, because
you're not worried now.
Yeah, I was just, my biggest thing on him was he didn't play all last year.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this kid, what was he doing last year?
He just didn't do the COVID.
Well, I know, but what was he doing?
Yeah.
So I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was practicing. I don't know if he was on the couch
it might be
Twinkies.
It might be good for you for your body to take look at Gronk.
For sure.
Gronk is a different dude now. He looks like old Gronk. He looks like he's fresh. That break gave him another. He's also playing with. He's playing with the GOAT.
I think he's on the TB12. He's probably got the nano technology shit that Tom and Giselle are on.
That Hispanic guy jerks him off every day. Yeah, I bet he does. So Cincinnati looked really good. Honestly, they were winning most of that game, and the Vikings came on late. They made a run at it late. They tied it up. There was a couple of crazy plays, and Cincinnati ended up kicking the field goal at the end to win the game in overtime. And that was a good game.
T. Higgins did okay. Mixon had a really good game.
Joe Mixon, let me tell you. I've had Joe Mixon in the past, and he's very good. Yeah. And I thought about it this year, and that first game made me go, "Damn, I really fucked."
Well, one of these we can't. Didn't we talk about that? Like one of these years, you're kind of hoping,
because this might be the only year that he does this.
Saquon Barkley, I want to see Saquon play well.
Yeah,
I want to see Joe Mixon play well.
He did.
Don't trust it. I just don't trust him.
He played really well.
Cincinnati's got a legit offense, and I think that you can confidently start all those guys.
As far as waiver wire on either one of these teams, I'm sure Kirk Cousins is probably out there.
Kirk Cousins might be available if you need a quarterback.
Joe Burrow probably is too.
No, I have him in Minnesota.
Osborne.
KJ Osborne.
Yeah.
And the reason that he perked up wasn't necessarily because of his points, but he had 9 targets.
No, they came to him a lot. And
that's a lot. 9 targets.
Justin Jefferson is going to get doubled, and then
Thielen had 2 touchdowns,
and they're going to spread it around amongst all 3 of them. But I think you're right. I think Osborne.
I don't know how excited I'd be about it. I'd temper my expectations, but again, if you're looking for a receiver, Probably not a 10-team league, but something to keep your eye on. If he gets another 9 targets next week, he's definitely somebody I might pick up.
Yeah. So then that takes us to San Francisco and Detroit. And boy,
fuck you, San Francisco.
What do you mean? This is exactly what you wanted.
Yeah.
This is what you wanted out of your Detroit Lions. You wanted them to be losing.
Oh, I know. I love the Lions.
and you wanted them to just throw the ball out to TJ Hockenson.
Game script for the Lions. They didn't throw it to Tyrell Williams. I don't know if I'll be hanging on to him.
No,
but
probably not.
They absolutely threw it to Hockenson. DJ Swift, and then who's the running fuck, I forgot his name.
The running back?
The running back for Detroit. There was a running back. Their other running
Jamal
back.
Williams.
Was the other thing.
Yeah, Jamal Williams did all right, but DeAndre Swift is the one. And obviously, you probably drafted DeAndre Swift pretty high, and he looked really good. He looked really good on a bad team. Detroit is a bad team. They were getting absolutely fisted in that game. They were getting their tits kicked in, and the San Francisco just took their foot off the throttle. San Francisco, oh boy, what an interesting turn of events for you.
Well, so you remember I drafted Mostert
and Sermon
because Mostert, I figured he would be good in the beginning.
Are you going to just cut Mostert?
Well, he's done.
I mean, they said 8 weeks.
No, then today they said that he'd made the decision to get surgery and he's done for the year. But before the game,
they
sit fucking Sermon.
So you started Mostert.
And they have who brings it. I mean, we might as well talk about Elijah Mitchell.
Because or Jermichael Hastings.
But Mitchell got 19 carries for 100 yards, and he's exactly what you're looking for.
They're gonna bring Sermon back. They're gonna play by committee.
The problem is we don't know why Sermon was left off the squad. Hastings was probably left on. Does he play special teams? I don't even fucking know. But
he didn't even make the 53-man.
They left him off the. No. They just left him. They didn't start him. He didn't dress.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, but the problem with San Francisco, as you saw, is that one of those running backs is going to get 130 yards. You just
don't know which one.
You just don't know fucking which one. I mean,
but the script happened. Mostert got fucking hurt. Sermon's now supposed to get the most touches.
Mostert got hurt without anything happening. just was standing over on the side and was like, "I'm done for the year," and it was like, "Oh my god." But the Niners look good.
But then the other thing, okay, so Debo fucking Samuel goes off, but then Brandon Ayuk
does nothing.
He got 0, but he only played 13 snaps. I think.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if
I'm thinking that his hamstring is bothering him more.
Was bigger on that team than we were giving him credit for.
I had a suspicion too. I was looking at him later in the draft,
and Brandon Ayuk got a lot of attention in this year's fantasy draft, and I thought that's interesting. I mean, I think y'all might be right, but George Kittle eats up a lot of those.
Targets. And I mean, I drafted Ayuk in that other league, and he literally got me 0 points. I played him.
Yeah,
0 points. But, fuck you, Ayuk. Fuck you, the 49ers.
How weird are the 49ers? They bring Jimmy G out there. He gets them all the way down to the goal line. It's 1st and goal, and they bring in Trey Lance to throw a quick little 5-yard touchdown. They said they were going to do that shit. Yeah, but Jimmy G did the right thing. He's like slapping Trey Lance's head. He's like, yeah, good job. But I'm like, dude, if I'm Jimmy G, I'm like, what the fuck?
So
I didn't even do anything wrong.
So
wait till I do something wrong.
Right. Honestly, man, I think that what if the 49ers start Jimmy G for the first 3 weeks, he plays really well, and then they trade him to fucking Washington and start Trey Lance. They're just giving him like a little like
they're just trying to get trade bait.
Because if you're basing it on what he's done so far, you're like, he's not that great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you a first
but
round
if he like
right now
comes out gangbusters in the first 3 weeks, and they're like,
plan. If that's what happens, then they're geniuses because that is a good plan. But I just thought it was the strangest thing ever. It was like you let Jimmy get you all the way down there, and then you're like, here's the kid. It's like, what the fuck? And then we didn't see him again. He just came in for that one play.
Yeah.
And then you brought in Jimmy, and the rest of the time he threw for over 300 yards. But they absolutely killed the Lions. And
then the Lions came back in the end.
The Lions did come back. And if you are looking for a quarterback,
I was going to say, Jared
that
Goff
might surprise you. He's on mine too.
He's
because
on mine.
they're going to be playing from behind.
And
they're gonna have to throw the ball.
Yeah, kind of the same reason why Hawkinson was like somebody's got to throw him that shit. So
the Niners make me nervous. I know Elijah Mitchell. I get it. If you are looking for a running back, he's a great one to go after in the waiver wire. But man, I don't know. They play too much by committee. They play too much of this.
But listen, like he is potentially a season-winning player.
As far as running backs go, I don't think there is another running back out there in the waiver wire that's worth it. That's like really good. That's
I had 3 on there.
But
Mitchell
he's the top.
Was one, Ingram was one, and White caught like 5 balls for whatever. And
James White?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, James
He
White
seems to always score. Like he'd be like a top 30 running back.
No, and they love him there in New England, so it's not a bad pickup. But I'd say Elijah Mitchell's got to be your top running back on the waiver wire. And I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm just saying they are so committee heavy that it makes me like, they make me fucking nervous. I just don't know if I do it.
Yeah, but I think you got to pull the trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
In the other league where there's a bud, like I'm the 10th. I don't know how the hell I got the 10th waiver pick in our league, but I'm 10th. So the chances that I get Mitchell is slim to none.
How does it end up? I don't know how. I don't know.
I don't know either. But
anyways,
the other one's a budget, and so I'm thinking about putting like a good amount down on this guy.
I hear you. 41-33, San Francisco killed Detroit, but Detroit made it interesting at the end.
And, I think the Detroit's defense isn't going to be very good. So, matchup-wise, if you're...
That's one to look at.
Play your
because San Francisco's offense is not that good. Yeah. So, if you have a good offense playing Detroit,
start your players against the Lions.
Yeah. Then we had Arizona and Tennessee, and I can't remember what I picked last week.
So I know that I took the Titans because I have it down right here, but Jesus Christ, Cardinals look really good.
Really good. Really. It makes me think that, we talked
Kyler
about
Murray might be the number 1 quarterback.
The NFC West is obviously the best division in the league. And they all won. They're all 1-0. They very well could all be the wild card.
We even said.
Yeah,
we even said that.
But I think the Cardinals, they kind of put themselves. They put themselves at the top because Tennessee's a good team.
And their defense is a lot better than I think. Like if Chandler Jones is going to get 5 sacks every game,
here's the thing:
they're going to win.
J.J. Watt, it looks like you got J.J. and J.J. still had some athletic plays in yesterday's game, and now you're taking attention away from Chandler Jones.
Right. Potential double teams away.
He is the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year if he keeps this up. 5 sacks.
He's got 5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles.
One game. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. John Jones's brother, just unbelievable.
I wouldn't want to fight him either.
No, hell no. Yeah, but what's crazy is that Chandler and his other brother, Arthur, they're like, it was fun for a while, and then John started training, and whenever we would wrestle around, it would be like, all right, this isn't fun anymore. You're hurting us at this point. Stop it, John Jones. But Arizona, Tennessee, man, Arizona beat the dog shit out of them.
And Tennessee looked terrible.
See, I still saw glimpses of because they got Derrick Henry going a little more in the second half. It obviously didn't amount to much.
He scored? He
not good.
He was big. If you drafted Derrick Henry, you're very disappointed this week.
But again, that's going to come around.
Somebody probably played
later on in the season where they rely on him more.
I'm not worried about him, but
you're disappointed in this week one.
They got their asses stomped.
They got stomped out, and one of the guys. The guy that my top of my waiver wire,
Kirk.
Yeah. And I honestly thought about drafting him because I thought, man, he had a good season last year where he's a home run hitter. He's your go route. Kyler threw it to him a couple of times, and he had a couple of games where he had
Well, if they're going to be this potent of an offense, then they're going to put up a lot of points.
Exactly. And they went to him more than just on go routes.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah, he's for sure on my list. This is kind of counterintuitive that we're telling each other who we want.
Well, I was thinking about that earlier, but we're just going to have to do it.
We're going to have to just, whatever.
We're just going to have to do it.
Yeah.
We're sharing each other's secrets. And matter of fact, people that are in this league might watch this show, and they're going to know what we're thinking.
But this one's not a secret, This one's not
You also have the number 1 waiver wire pick. So I don't think dude. I'm just
how did I pull?
By what I looked up on my phone today, I was looking up waiver order, and you're number 1, and I'm last. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, I didn't do that on purpose, but I'm sure glad that it did.
Is that his name? No, but Kirk Cameron or Cameron Kirk? What the fuck is his name?
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk.
He's really good, and
no, he is good.
Man, did you see the one that Kyler dropped in? It was
that one where he stopped and 2 defenders almost ran into each other and he went back?
It was the go route that it was the over the shoulder, just landed perfectly, came out of the sky.
I'm sure that I did.
In the end zone.
I watched so much football highlights over the last 2 days.
Well, we're analysts now.
That's why I was doing it. I was like, I have to.
Yeah, this is for our job. Like, DraftKings isn't gonna,
right.
They're not gonna.
DraftKings isn't gonna pay a bunch of idiots.
Exactly. So Arizona, I would say for sure.
It'd be great if they did.
Yeah, but that'd be great. Christian Kirk, brought to you by DraftKings and Red Zone. Christian Kirk, he's one for sure. Maybe AJ Green.
I have him down as my others. He's on the very bottom. Well, again, if they're going to score this many points, maybe he gets motivated. It kind of seems like I'm not real sure that AJ Green wants to play. I don't know.
I'm not excited about it, but if you're in like a 12 team or you need help.
He once had a lot of talent, and I believe that he still does. I'm just not sure that he wants to play that bad.
And I'm ready to just go ahead and announce it now. He's the best receiver in the league, and we let him go for a fucking 4th round pick.
Well, he was the best receiver in the league when we let him go.
But people want to say things about Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill. To me, DeAndre Hopkins is the best receiver in the league, and
if you need 5 yards, you're gonna get it.
Nasty. The catch in the back of the end zone that he had, where he stuck his feet in.
Oh yeah,
it's like, oh my god! And we gave him for fuck you, Bill O'Brien. Fuck you, Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, fuck you, Bill O'Brien. Fuck you, Bill O'Brien. What the hell's wrong with you? Fuck you and your butt chin.
Yeah, and I got a butt chin. And
I got a butt chin too.
You make the butt chin people look bad.
Yeah, fuck you, Bill.
Fuck you, Bill.
Bob.
Tennessee wise, I don't know. I don't know if there was anything that jumped out. Obviously, they had a bad game, so
we'll see.
You're gonna pull up. Obviously, if you're looking for stuff.
We're always a little hesitant.
Tannehill might be out there, but
their defense. That's why their defense was pretty crappy last year too. And if they haven't really made any improvements on it, they might see themselves in shootouts.
Here's the thing: I still see them winning the division. I see them turning this around, and I see them winning this division.
See, I'm going to have to change this. Fucking Texans are going to win.
Okay.
Texans are going to win the division.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
We have to redo it all.
Getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Well, we're leading the division, so, I mean, I don't know why. We have a lead.
If it ended today, we got
in our own hands. Our own...
Okay.
Our destiny is in our own hands. Our fate is in
our own destiny. Or Deshaun Watson's dick is in his hand is really what you're saying. Is that
it's in a bunch of massage therapists' hands.
His destiny was hanging out in his hand, and he was like, please,
no, that's what he paid all these women to do.
Down. I'm telling you, there are 30 massage therapists out there that fuck the shit out of him. You know who you are. Shout out to those girls out there that
call me
that hit him up and were like,
or don't call me. However you get a hold of people these days.
However you massage dicks, you let my man know over here. So Arizona, Tennessee, that one was shocking. It was also what we thought of as like there were 2 playoff teams, but I was impressed by Arizona.
It was in Arizona, right?
No.
It was in Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
Oh, damn. They got
they beat them down in Tennessee. Yeah. Damn. So then we had Seattle and Indianapolis, where
Seattle looks really good.
Josh showed his prowess of picking defenses and going,
You went Indy?
I know that Indy's got a tough matchup here week 1. But I'm going to roll them out there.
Did they get any points?
No, I mean, shut up. It was me. Shut the fuck up. It was me. Hey, Hormel, zip it. So No, they got like 4 points, and I think
actually, at least they didn't get negative.
Yeah,
That's
whatever. They might. As well.
Because
they did.
Russell Wilson looks really good.
They did.
Tyler Lockett looked good. DK Metcalf, just watching him move is like, it's so awesome. You're
he's
like,
probably
holy fuck.
Yeah.
He's so graceful and strong and
so,
like.
You know what? We are going to derail here because I'm going to get
Christ.
into this argument because I got into an argument with the Turkish Wonder. I got into an argument with the Turkish Tornado. Okay.
Okay.
And I think I kind of won him over, and I want to see him if I can do it to you with soccer. So you have to play the game with me, okay? You can't do this where this is what he was doing constantly. When I say DK Metcalf, okay, could be one of the best soccer players of all time if
he grew up in Europe and played soccer for his whole life. Of course,
from the time that he was 5 years old,
absolutely,
his dad was like, and I would say that what I'm saying is the crossover of elite athletes in the NFL. If I did this what if game where I got Ed Reed when he was 5 years old, and I was like, no, you're not going to play football, you're going to play soccer instead, he would have been an elite soccer player, or any of these guys in the NFL could have transitioned over in the NFL. However,
in theory, yes.
In theory. But in the same theory, none of these little motherfuckers that go over there.
But that's not. They're not all little. Have you ever seen Romelu Lukaku?
Can he play? Could you think if when he started off when he was 5, he worked at football? You think he could have made it to the NFL?
Absolutely.
Come on.
You go look up Lukaku. That's a scary motherfucker.
All right. Well, if you found one and his
Erling Haaland
and his name is Bukaki, then you're absolutely right. Because if you were
it's
named
not Bukaki.
If you were named Bukaki by your mom and dad, and they were like. This is a crazy name to give him, but he's going to grow up beating the shit out of everybody around him and be like, you know Bukaki on me.
It's
I
Lukaku.
Bukaki on you. What an amazing name, Bukaki. So DK Metcalf is one of the ones that I bring
up.
DK Metcalf is one of the ones that I wanted on because I was like, he's so athletic. Like, you can't tell me that if that guy didn't work at it, he would be able to do whatever. I mean, even when he went and ran track and field, he did that little thing.
But
with those
to your
Olympic
point, it's not as though all these other countries don't have big, giant, athletic men, and yet most of them aren't the professional soccer players. And these guys are very big and very athletic, but it's just a different body type.
I would say we have the most, though.
I mean, the Olympics prove that, right?
Well, I just think it's like we feed ourselves pesticides and Pop-Tarts and fucking all kinds.
You think it's the American diet?
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. We're putting it in us. I'm proud of it. It's exactly what we should do. We're fucking spraying. You think these poor kids, and let's be honest, these poor
it might be just
African-American kids growing up in the inner city.
European countries aren't poor.
No, but they're not on a diet of fruit roll-ups and like stuff that they shouldn't be. And from a young age, that builds you up into this freak of nature.
We have the shittiest fucking diet in the world.
I know.
Well,
look what it creates.
Look
what it creates. Look at these offensive tackles that have been like, yeah, I used to eat the whole sleeve of Pop-Tarts
corn
at one
syrup
time.
and
fucking, hell yeah, I used to spray that shit into my veins.
Yeah.
I mainline corn syrup before a game. You don't even know. And look at them, these freaks.
And that's what gets.
That's why we're so much better. Anyways, we got way off there.
Yeah, where'd we go?
But Seattle, Indianapolis.
Come on back, dude.
Seattle, Indianapolis.
Seattle. DK Metcalf looked really good. Tyler Lockett looks really good. Chris Carson looked really good.
Chris Carson, man, that was one that I was like, I was thinking about Chris Carson, but he did look really good. He kind of bums me out that I didn't.
He'll get hurt, though.
Yeah, maybe, but
Russell Wilson,
he looks
probably
solid.
one of the most undervalued fucking quarterbacks. All the time.
I put bonuses for receivers. It's a 3-point bonus for a 50-yard touchdown. 50-plus yard touchdown.
Tyler Lockett.
For fucking Tyler Lockett, I didn't realize what I had just done. I just created a monster because that's what that guy does.
That's all he does.
That's just all he does. He just gets fucking 70-yard bombs and he just kills you with them. But yeah, Indianapolis also looked bad. I really was. I didn't know what to think about them going into this. There's definitely people on the waiver wire out there like Pascal, but I'm not into it. I'm not into the Colts.
Pascal's the only one.
No, I'm not into it. I'm not
only one, but he got a lot of targets.
Yeah, but Carson Wentz is not.
He's got to throw the ball to somebody.
He's not. I don't even know if Carson Wentz will be there. And then if Carson Wentz does go down, they don't have a backup. They literally don't have
Who's the backup? Jacoby Brissett?
No. Jacoby Brissett is on the Dolphins. He's the backup on the Dolphins. So the backup for the Colts was Elzinger from the Texas. Ellinger from the University of Texas, but he got hurt. So he's out for the first 6 weeks of the game. I'm just saying, if there's a dumpster fire and you don't want to go near it, it to me is the Indianapolis Colts. They seem like this is just going to go down.
Can I revise my pick? And I think I picked the Colts to make the playoffs.
I think
just switch them with Houston.
No,
Houston
Tennessee. Tennessee will come back around. Houston might be better than the Colts, though.
I picked Houston I picked Tennessee to be one of the wild card teams.
Yeah, but Indianapolis didn't look good. They lost 28-16.
They look terrible.
There are some definitely some people out there on the waiver wire for the Indianapolis, but again,
yeah, one of their receivers I think will end up becoming fantasy relevant.
Though. It's probably Michael Pittman, and he didn't have much of a game, but it will probably be him later on in the year as he develops.
Could also be that just one of them blows up one week and one of them does it the next week, and it's just annoying as fuck.
That's true. Well, then we went on to one of my other favorite games of the week, which also broke my heart, but it didn't break my heart. They won the game. So it was the Chargers and Washington. This was a really good game. This was a good defensive game. Justin Herbert on fantasy points did not razzle dazzle. He only got me 15 points.
Oh, how much?
15. Yeah, he only got me 15. I don't know why. Maybe it's the scoring in our league. But
it must be the scoring because I think he got me 20 in the one that the other one.
They won the game. I thought that there were glimpses of wow, that looked really good. He obviously has a connection with Keenan Allen, and that's gonna be good. Michael Williams, is it Michael? Mike Williams? Mike Williams. He might be out there. I doubt it in some of your waiver wires, but maybe if you have
Isn't he always have a couple good games and then take 3 weeks off?
But he had a good game this last week. I mean, he had a good week one. So if you're looking for something out there, I wouldn't be against that. I'm still gonna roll with it. I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna panic. I'm not gonna let go of him or be like, oh, I'm going Trevor Lawrence and just have to hope for the best. I'm gonna start Justin. I don't know who they play. We're gonna talk about the week 2 matchups coming up. But those games, just like the Buffalo-Pittsburgh game, it's not so much that they didn't do well. It's that it was a tight,
matchups
competitive game. Yeah, absolutely. Matchup. Yeah. So, but on Washington,
McLaurin didn't do much until Heineke came in.
Fitzmagic is out.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah,
he's done. So they went Taylor Heineke.
Well, no. I think he's only out for 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they have hopes of making the playoffs, maybe making a run in the playoffs. They think that they are a good team. So you're going to hit this point where, because they will win some games, so they're going to be around 500 or maybe a little 500 before he comes back, and you're going to just start thinking to yourself, if you're the owner of this Washington team, let's think about it. Who can we go out there and who can we poach? Who do people not want? Like Cam is out there. Maybe you give Cam a chance. I mean, Fitzmagic's out. Maybe you start Taylor Heineke, but you talk Cam into coming in and being your backup, and maybe Cam comes out there and plays well for you. Maybe one of these guys that we're talking about, like Jimmy G or Andy Dalton, or one of them gets usurped, and then it's like, okay, you know what? I got no use for this guy anymore. You want him.
How good would Tyrod Taylor be in fucking Washington?
Seeing the Texans made a trade with the Saints for Bradley Roby to go to them at the beginning of this week, and it kind of made me think like, oh, cool. They're just like they're on a fire sale. They're like this season's a wash. Get rid of all of our valuable assets and just like. But then we fucking stomped the Jaguars out, and I was like, well.
And now we're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, now I don't know, but I would say he would be better. It's funny too that the Turkish wonder. His name is Honor. Honored to meet you. And he says that the reason he became a Washington Redskins fan is when he moved to this country.
I think it's the Washington football team.
When he moved to this country, he liked the uniforms.
He liked the colors.
He liked the pretty colors. Oh, you got the prettiest uniforms. Those are the cutest. And I just can't get on board with it. That is not a reason. But he does. He's very loyal to them.
When I chose my English Premier League team, I did it just because I thought the name was cool.
Well, I mean, if you're not from over there, I guess you don't really have a. I mean, and listen,
right? I was like, who the fuck do I? I was like, I had to pick a team, and
I'm a Tom Brady, LeBron James fan from Houston, Texas. I don't really get to say much, but
you will.
But I will. And he believes in Taylor Heineke a lot, and I don't
think I'd rather have Cam.
I don't think he played bad. Heineke, when he came in, he didn't play bad. He wasn't.
McLaurin didn't do shit until Heineke came in.
Yeah. And that one of those catches that McLaurin had was unbelievable.
He was like falling over backwards.
Falling sideways completely. His head was unbelievable.
It was amazing. It got number one on Sports
It was
Center.
Unbelievable.
It was insane.
For him to move his body like that, falling down, and to know where the ball was incredible.
He made it up. He didn't score a whole lot, but he made up for the...
Yeah. And obviously, if you have Logan Thomas, you feel good because he got the touchdown, he got some looks, and
he looked all right.
Yeah.
I still think Gibson will be fine.
I think Washington's going to win that division. I do. I think they're going to be better than the Cowgirls. I think that they're going to string together some wins.
Both of those teams have a good defense, so it was supposed that games,
and then they'll make a trade.
Be like that sometimes, man.
Yeah, it do be like that. And then we had New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers.
Fucking Corey Davis.
You were right.
Another good pick.
You know what else?
Guess where he was in our league?
The end.
On my bench.
Yeah. You know what, too?
He was on my bench.
This score says 14-19, but in real life, Carolina beat them down from pretty much the jump.
Oh, did they?
I didn't really watch. Carolina was beating them pretty much. Sam Darnold.
I know that they came back.
Actually, Sam Darnold's an interesting one. If you're looking for,
he's on my.
If you're deep, if you I'm not saying it's something great but he looked better. I mean, honestly, it was like, especially because they beat the Jets, it was like, hey, if you give the guy weapons, he don't look that bad.
He's always been a decent quarterback.
Yeah, but he just didn't have shit on the Jets. And Zach Wilson is going to struggle.
And they were just terrible. Had no weapons, and he still did okay.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how much the Panthers do. I don't see them.
Christian McCaffrey's a motherfucking stud. If you didn't draft him number one, you're a goddamn idiot.
I don't see them winning the whole thing or winning a bunch of games or even making the playoffs. So. But fantasy-wise, they've got some interesting players.
Robbie Anderson looks really good.
He looks really good. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey.
Looked really good.
DJ Moore actually proved me wrong. I didn't believe in the DJ Moore, but he did good.
Yeah.
And
Corey Davis.
I don't think there's anything really else on the Jets that you'd want to go after.
But I think that he will keep getting a lot of. He'll keep getting a lot of targets.
You found the one thing on that team.
My man Corey Davis. What's up, Corey?
Yeah, it's brought to you by Corey Davis and DraftKings. I don't know. Can Corey Davis sponsor us? If he wants to,
hit us up, Corey. If you're allowed to.
Yeah, well, hit us up.
How about just send me like a jersey or something?
But those were the day games. Those were the 12:00 games, and it was a really good first week of football as far as that goes.
Then just watching the football, the little that I actually got to watch, it was fun.
Oh yeah, football's back, and the crowd being out there that had effect on them for sure. And it was a good week of football.
The Vegas stadium looks good.
Yeah, it was bumping in that huge Vegas stadium. So then one of the best games of the week. One of the two best teams, I think, going to go forward, and because Cleveland lost, but they looked really good. Kansas City and the Cleveland Browns.
Now Cleveland had that game. That was Cleveland's game to win.
It. They were winning. They were winning.
They should have.
They were up big. They were up 20.
They gave the ball back to him like right there on the 10-yard line.
And it just shows you that. And the guy I was playing had Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. So through the first half, I actually felt pretty good because they were holding him. They were doing good. They were holding him down. But they'll just wear you down with that Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and that's what He ended up
Tyreek Hill,
and I have Clyde Edwards fucking Hilaire.
Yeah, the only one that didn't score points on their big four was
now the positive that I can take from Clyde Edwards-Helaire in this is that he's obviously their starter.
Yep.
They're going to be in games where they're up by a lot. This was a hard matchup because Cleveland is a better team.
Well, they were behind.
But they're going to be up.
How many passes did he get?
Edwards-Helaire? I think he only got 3 or
he just needs to be involved.
And he got me 10 points. Game. I mean, it wasn't as bad as Najee, who only got me 5. But I was expecting that 1-2 punch. Those are my I reached for both of them. I believed in both of them. They're in both of my leagues. It just didn't work this first week. But again, it's not that I'm wrong on either one of these teams. Both of these teams are going to be good. Both of them are going to win games. I think the Steelers and the Chiefs both have a chance to be up big in games and go to the running backs and just say, hey, to end this game, we just need to fucking run the rock.
Yeah.
So that could work out well for me. But it does give me I had to kind of go, oh shit. My number 2 pick of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I might end up either having to try to see if somebody wants to trade him, or I could end up benching him, and that really sucks because I could have got a much better value. So first week was rough for me. And
my number 2 pick was on the other team. I had Nick Chubb.
He did not do poorly.
He didn't. He did pretty good. Nick Chubb things.
Pretty good. I could have done Nick Chubb. Could have drafted Nick Chubb. I think
you could have had Nick Chubb.
Could have drafted Nick Chubb. But
I appreciate it.
But no, I had to be smart.
You're smarter than
I'm so smart. I'm smarter than ESPN. What, do you have him ranked yet?
Nah.
Not me. Not in Josh's rankings.
So,
what's your favorite movie? Not me. I just like the debate. I like to make it look like I'm so smart and I get to pick it.
Fucking idiot. Kansas City and Cleveland. I mean, obviously Kansas City did what they did at the end and came back and won.
Cleveland looks good though. Cleveland should definitely be in the playoffs.
I think you're right. I think they might win that division.
They should win that division.
They looked a little bit better than Pittsburgh did, even though Pittsburgh won. I just think if you compare how well Cleveland started, the only problem is Baker made a fucking bonehead decision there at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm not convinced that he doesn't do that every fucking time they get into pressure situations.
He does seem to have that.
Yeah. I'm just not sold on Baker. He's the one part.
Would you call it like a Romo-esque quality where he's like,
it is. It is Romo-esque.
Just good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough to be really
he knows
good
what to do.
until just
he's got
to
an
the
arm,
counts.
and then he fucked
and you
it
just
up.
can't.
But there's some interesting guys on the Browns that you might want to do in the waiver
Baker
wire.
Mayfield's going to make some great commercials even after he's done playing.
Yeah, he will.
He does some good ones now, but
he does, yeah.
Bro, speaking of commercials, did you see the Gronk and Tom Brady commercial? Have you ever? Okay, so I forget what fucking network it is, but it's like it's talking about your connection, right? And so like they're FaceTiming. And it's like on a spotty connection, this is what he heard. You gotta watch it. Hilarious.
Awesome.
I'll leave it at that. I'll let you go.
It's got 2 of my faves.
It's got Gronk on it and Brady.
I'm all over
After we're done recording this, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
But it's hilarious, and all of you should go watch it too. Yeah. I think it's Verizon.
All right,
but
I'll check it out.
A Verizon commercial.
No, what were we just talking about?
I don't know.
All right. Well, anyways, we'll wrap up that. Cleveland, Njoku, or maybe one of their.
Hey, I have Njoku. If you're looking for a
tight end,
he got targets.
Yeah.
Odell didn't play, and so that might take away from potential targets.
I have Jarvis Landry in the other league, and
he did okay.
Yeah, he did all right. It makes me kind of think
he had a Jarvis Landry type game.
I should look to him in good matchups.
That's what you're gonna get from Jarvis Landry.
If the Browns are playing a bad team, it makes me think maybe I
Kareem
should
Hunt also had a good game, and it goes.
I don't like to say that because I made fun of the Turkish guy for having James Robinson and Kareem Hunt, but Kareem Hunt did all right.
We talked about that too, and I think the first or second episode that when they're together.
There's been so many. Of
there's
these.
been so it's hard for me to think back.
We just we're podcasters. This is
what we do.
This is the life.
This is what we do. Yeah, it's rough. it's kind of hard. I didn't realize it was gonna be such a difficult transition.
It's a job.
But when Hunt and Chubb play together like in the same game, they're actually better than one of them's isolated.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's true. But Kansas City and Cleveland, I think they'll both be a top seed, and Pittsburgh and Buffalo, all the teams that we thought going into this, they're all look like the best of the AFC.
And Njoku's the only one from either one of those teams.
Yeah, I think that because I think most of the other ones you probably drafted, like even Kansas City, like I drafted McCole Hardman, who didn't do terrible, but he's still not. I don't know why I do it to myself. He'll be when I go. So then you have to make this decision with the bottom of your bench of now that we're going in the waiver wire. Who am I cutting?
Get rid of?
And McCole Hardman is going to be my guy. He's going to be
I haven't decided.
I can't let go of Gesicki because I'm literally two shitty tight ends. Like if I don't find something to replace them, I just can't be letting go of tight ends. But then that brings us into Gesicki and these goddamn Miami Dolphins. I shouldn't say goddamn because Jalen Waddle did really well. And he's one of the ones that I reached for. He's one of the ones I believed in.
Did you play him?
No, he got 17 points. He was on my bench, but they went to him a lot. He got targeted, I think, like 9 times.
That's good.
And
especially with his big playability.
Yeah, I mean, Tua went to him on a couple of big plays, and he got a lot of big yardage.
How did Devontae Parker do? I remember him seeing.
Yeah, I mean, he's their number one, and I think. See, this was a weird game. This was another one of those weird games of like matchups of just. I'm not going to call them the upper echelon like Kansas City and Cleveland or Pittsburgh and Buffalo, but it was like they were both so evenly. They're both like mid. They're both medium teams. Right. So they kind of. I mean, obviously, look at the score. It was 17-16. It was so evenly matched.
And both have the defense. The defenses are the best parts of both of those teams.
Are best, and both of the offenses looked Like if you're starting Tua, you're probably like, oh shit.
Both young quarterbacks.
Yeah. And Mac Jones looked okay.
I think right. Nelson Aguilar is one of the guys that I was.
But just in a traditional New England fashion, they're gonna spread it out on that team. So
and I wouldn't want their running backs and fucking what's his name? He fumbled.
Damien
Harris, Harris fumbled.
Which is Bill Belichick's.
So like whoever that one dude is, who like who's that backup that guy drafted like in the 7th round or something?
Oh, Rushman Stevenson.
yeah, he'll probably end up with 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He drafted
this
him
week.
high. You drafted him high.
Now's your chance. Who drafted him?
Alexander.
This week might be your chance because Damian Harris fumbled.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
But good luck. I'm not necessarily saying
but then you brought up James White too, and the thing is
James White's gonna. They
love James White. They're gonna bring him in on 3rd down. He's gonna catch.
And if you're in a PPR league, he's gonna catch 5 balls a game, get you 50, 60 yards, maybe a touchdown.
They also have things in their own division of like the Jets, and they're gonna play the Dolphins again. So those are 2 teams that I think defensively wise aren't great. So
Miami has a good defense, but the Jets not necessarily.
Miami and New England both in this game, they showed me that they're about a 500 team.
They're definitely wasn't nearly as impressed with New England as I was preseason.
No, and I kind of thought this was going to happen. That like Mac Jones is he's all right, but you ain't the goaty guy.
Miami won, right?
Miami did 17-16. They squeaked it out. And Tua or somebody had a fumble on Miami late that it was like, oh, you're gonna fuck this up, but didn't happen. So then we go to my surprise of the week. I definitely picked Green Bay in this.
I picked Green Bay also.
Now it's because they were the number 1 seed last year, but we even talked about what a weird fucking season this is of when does this ever happen where a team has agreed with the star quarterback?
So we're gonna let one more year.
Yeah.
Well, the Chicago Bulls. That's why they kept calling it the last. This is why Aaron Rodgers is calling it his last dance, because that's what they did with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but I think at the time, if you would ask the Bulls ownership if they were really going to do it, they're like, do you really think he's going to leave? I think in their minds, they were like, nah, we're going to talk him into coming back. But I think that there really is this fucking weird, the Packers and Aaron Rodgers have looked each other in the face and said, all right, let's do this one more time.
It's like me and my ex-wife, like
yeah, for real.
Fuck it.
All right. We'll try to make this work.
Just easier.
But Colin Cowherd brought a really good, interesting point of during this offseason, Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson both made noise about how they don't like what's going on with the team. They maybe are looking at going other places. They need to be more involved. They're unhappy. And both teams did minuscule moves. Neither one did much to kind of change their team. But Russell Wilson came back in, was a man about it, and was like, look, I signed this contract. It is what it is. I haven't heard anything else from Russell Wilson, and he's balling. Aaron Rodgers looks like a poor, petulant little fucking baby who's standing on the field.
He gives a shit.
Yeah. The second interception where the dude threw a punt, he literally threw a punt in the air. Dude was nowhere near him. I'm like, okay. And there's rumors online of that, I think he's throwing these games.
What if Aaron Rodgers goes to Washington?
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, if he goes to Washington, they'll be in the NFC Championship game with Tampa Bay and get beat by Tom Brady again. But he instantly makes them a championship caliber team for sure. But
maybe Rodgers doesn't want to go through this shit again next year.
Hey! That's enough of all of that. Shut the fuck up.
Because it is kind of like me and my ex-wife. Like, literally, like, instead of going through this next year where they're like, we'll trade you, he's going to be like, I'm going to fucking suck so bad. And I'm going to force him to trade me this year.
I'm going to burn this house down.
Like, you know what? Fuck it. How much can I drink?
You're going to regret having me in this house. I'll show you. Yeah, no, I don't know.
You think I drink too much now?
I also think that it was a mixture of things. It was that everybody, all the analysts, everybody was kind of down on the Saints. Everyone was like,
including
it's not
Josh.
The Drew Brees. Yeah, including me. It's not the Drew Brees Saints. They're not going to be as good as they were. But the truth is, their defense is still pretty solid. They're not. I don't think they're championship defense, but I think they're a good defense. And Jameis throws the ball. He throws it.
If Tyrod Taylor doesn't get MVP, it's going to be Jameis Winston.
Jameis really looked good. Now,
so when's the 5 interception game?
Exactly.
Because that's what's coming this week. So this week,
what Jameis does.
He's going to get you 6 points.
He does a really great week, and then it's
5
going to be a really bad week.
And you'll be like, what the fuck?
Really bad week is coming. And I don't know if there's a bunch of guys on the waiver wire for the Saints. I know.
Actually, there was, I think I had. So
Deontay Harris.
Their tight end, Juwan Johnson. Must have had quite a few targets because those are the only ones that I put on.
He did, but it was kind of a fluke. It was like one of those things where he got Jameis. They went for it on 4th down. He threw it to Juwan Johnson, who got them the 4th down catch. And then it almost seemed like to reward him at the end of that drive, he gave him the touchdown. He gave Juwan Johnson the touchdown. Well, I'm not saying that like.
So Jameis just gets to pick. He's damn.
No, but
Jameis Winston's gonna be good.
I don't know.
He was one that went. He's one, and then I also I picked New Orleans. If you're streaming defenses, New Orleans defense this week.
Not a bad idea. Who are they playing?
I forget, but.
Well, we're gonna go over week 2 here in a second, but yeah. So
I can tell you right now.
Green Bay.
They're playing Carolina.
But Green Bay, man, wow. Honestly, if you're any of those other receivers, Lazard or Valdez-Scantling, you don't want them because you don't know if this is going to keep. Is this going to keep going? Are we going to see this again? I mean, they're going to play other teams in their division that I think are going to give them fits. The Bears' defense didn't look that bad. I think the Rams are that good. I think the Vikings looked better. I don't know. The Lions, shit. The Lions.
The Lions are going to play that.
The Lions
with that
are going
much
to put
heart.
points on them because the Packers' defense is terrible. They were terrible. I mean, it's 1 week. Obviously you can bounce back from it, but man, if I was like, if there was one team that I was completely out on from this week, if I had to pick one, it'd be the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Not even the Colts, even though I felt bad about the Colts. There's things I could accept on there. I'm thinking I made a huge mistake with Robert Tonyan. I'm now on the panic when it comes to the tight ends. Robert Tonyan and Mike Gesicki. I'm in a fucking panic. I am like, red alert, got to go find a tight end. So, anyways. Anyways,
you could get Juwan Johnson from New Orleans.
Yeah, I know, but he got a gift touchdown because he got Jameson.
But I have to look up the targets. Look up his targets. He
I'll
got several targets, and that's kind of like if he's going to get that many looks.
Should have picked Alvin Kamara. You stupid fucking Josh. Anyways, we'll go on to the Denver New York Giants. That was the last 325 game. Kind of a sloppy game, to be honest with you.
The Giants fucking suck.
Yeah, they do. And honestly, the Broncos didn't blow me away.
I
mean, and Cortland Sutton didn't really get going at all. And it just
Noah Fant had a decent game.
And then they made me look like an idiot by playing Melvin Gordon like a motherfucker. So I talked up this Javonte Williams kid and was like, "Oh, this."
But they got equal snaps.
Yeah, they
did. It's just that Melvin Gordon had like a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah, he did.
Like before that, he didn't have much going on.
And but
he did look better. Like Melvin Gordon's not done.
I don't even have Denver. I mean, I don't have them winning.
Yeah, but Jerry Jeudy got hurt, so Cortland Sutton should get more targets now. Noah Fant. Probably not on the waiver wire, but he should get more targets now.
Yeah, but I think that's it as far as that. There is a guy, Tim Patrick, on the Broncos who last year had some good touches and he got a lot of touchdowns. It's an interesting one because he got a touchdown again this week 1. And then on the Giants, Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard is probably your second behind Christian Kirk as far as like who's your most valued on the waiver wire.
I just don't trust the Giants.
I know, however, he gets targets.
He does. You're right. Yeah.
Not good.
The dude that I was playing in our league he played him against.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard.
I was like, he's playing Sterling Shepard. What the fuck?
Yep.
Why is Sterling Shepard scoring 20 points?
Kenny Galladay didn't do anything.
No.
You know.
And Barkley looks like
looked like shit again.
Dude, if you got Barkley, I think that's what the whole year is going to look like until he gets hurt again.
Daniel Jones just isn't it.
He sucks. Their offensive line sucks.
Their offensive line sucks. Their defense isn't any good.
But their cornerbacks, I guess, are pretty good.
Yeah, but their defensive line doesn't get after anybody, so you're asking them to.
But they have 2 decent corners, so I guess in matchup wise, like I don't know,
I guess
because they did shut down Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy got hurt. Apparently, he is out. He's got a high ankle sprain, out 4 to 6 weeks.
So that was the end of the 325 games. Not a ton there. Kind of a sloppy game. I'm not crazy about either one of those teams. Then we went to the night game. Was Chicago and the Rams. This was a good game. Chicago doesn't look bad. The Rams look really good. And the Rams did this without really using Matt Stafford that much. They did this with their defense is solid. They have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Arguably the best 1-2 punch of defenders that you have in the league.
Yeah.
You know, if you're talking about your backside complementing your front, I mean, I can't think of one that's better than that.
Yeah, they can shut down half the field.
Yeah. So I thought the Rams looked really good. I had them winning that division. I'm scared of the Cardinals, though. The Cardinals are going to be fucking good. And the Seahawks are good, too. And the Niners scored a lot of points. So who the fuck knows?
They're all 1-0. Yeah, their division's all 1-0.
The winner of the NFC West is this one.
We said that, too. Like,
but the Rams looked really good. My guy, Robert Woods, did not do what I wanted him to. I wanted him to go the fuck off. It didn't happen. Cooper Kupp had a good game, but it wasn't that impressive. Again, they didn't really throw the ball that much. They just beat them with good, smart defense. They ran the ball when they needed to. They, I don't know. Are there Rams that you have on the waiver wire?
No. There's none of either one of those.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anybody on the Bears either. The Bears offense looks stagnant.
Until Justin Fields is the quarterback, I don't think. Justin Fields might be an interesting one if he might still be out there on your league.
He might be in your waiver wire.
Andy Dalton looked not good. I don't know. I just don't understand why you're doing it.
No, I don't.
Nagy's just a fucking idiot, I think.
Yeah, and I don't see the Bears really making that decision till it's too late. You know, like I see them, they could probably ride out with Andy Dalton for 8 games and be like 1-7 and be like,
I still think Dalton's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, he probably will.
He don't want to be out there.
He probably will. probably right. But yeah, that game was good. But the Rams looked really good in that late game.
That whole division.
So Monday night, last night's game was the Raiders and the Ravens. I've been very vocal about my anti-Raven, and it kind of came to fruition. Honestly, the Raiders played really sloppy in the beginning of this game. They shouldn't have been in it at all. They gave up some plays. They were letting Lamar Jackson run. But then, exactly what I said, a motherfucker fumbled late in the game because he's running the ball like he's fucking Cam Newton, and he got the ball poked out because you're a fucking quarterback and you're out there running. I just don't see this lasting where this guy's athleticism bails you out of these situations that he's putting you in because he can't throw the ball. And that's what happened in this game. I mean, he gave it away. They could have won that game, but
yeah, he went through a stretch that when I actually got this one, I actually got to watch a little bit of that he just looked terrible. Like
terrible.
Just looked like he was lost. But then he goes through, makes these plays that are really good
on his feet. On his feet.
Well, I mean, yeah, it starts. I just don't. I think almost every play should start with his feet. Then I mean, like you got to mix it in better because I didn't see a lot of designed runs for him, and I didn't see a lot of like run pass options. I don't know.
I thought Sammy Watkins was being brought in to be like, he'll be a good veteran third receiver. No. This was like Sammy Watkins was being brought in to be like their number one because Marquise Brown is so unreliable. Right. And Mark Andrews was there, and they did throw to him a little bit. But I don't know. I'm still not on it on the Ravens. Do you have what's the running back's name? Tyson Williams. He might because he had a good game, and he might be something to go look for in the waiver wire.
But I would also I picked up Latavius Murray again on both those leagues. Too. I didn't play him.
No, but he played.
But that's what I'm saying.
Game.
He's only been there since Friday.
And they signed Le'Veon Bell.
Right.
And they signed Devontae.
I just think
Freeman.
for some reason they don't trust Tyson
he's
much.
A rookie. He's a rookie, so
and I feel like because honestly he looked like the more explosive player, but then maybe Latavius Murray just doesn't understand the blocking schemes fully yet. I don't know, but I do think
either way, this was a gut punch for him.
I didn't like the way Jackson looked. No. I have him on my other team, and I needed about 50 from him.
And I'll tell you, if I could pick one team from this week that won, then I'm completely like, yeah, but they didn't look good at all. It was the Raiders. The Raiders didn't look good. Let me tell you why. Derek Carr is forcing it to Darren Waller.
19.
He's forcing it.
19 attempts.
And listen, the Ravens were decimated with injuries. They lost Marcus Peters. Marlon Humphrey was doing a good job covering Darren Waller at points. But let's say you're a better defense. Let's say when the Raiders play,
they can take him away.
Yeah, they're going to be not take him away, but you're going to get picks.
But that other dude,
because you know where he's going
later. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Ruggs?
No, Humphreys or not. What's his name? I considered putting him on here, but I didn't. I can't remember his name.
On
89, yeah.
Oh, Brian Edwards. Brian Edwards did do well later on, and people had him.
He looked really good.
Yeah, he did. Hey,
later in the game.
Shut the hard mouths! Hunter Renfrow is another one that's probably out there in your waiver wire.
If he's going to throw it to fucking Waller 19 times, everybody else in that passing game is worthless.
I'll tell you, the one thing that makes me happy is that it seems like Gruden loves my guy, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, well, he looked really good. When they actually got to run the ball, he looked I thought he looked good.
They'll be in some games where they will be winning. I'm not saying that the Raiders are going to go like they're not going to have a losing record.
They're going to do the same shit they did.
They're going to do the same thing.
Yeah, they're going to win games that they'll
win like 10 games, 9 games, something like that. And Josh Jacobs will have good weeks. So at least that was my third pick was Josh Jacobs, and that was a good. I at least have that I hope pays off. But yeah, I don't know about too much on the waiver wire for either one of those teams. And I also, I
did put
sloppy win.
What's his name on there? Oh, he was in my others, Watkins. But again, because he's gonna be the main guy who throws it.
Because this was not just a let's bring in a veteran. It was that we need receiver help. We don't have receivers, and we need them.
But week one's always his best week. Yeah.
He dropped like 3 or 4 balls, and
so if he catches him, would he had a good game?
He still had a good game, fantasy wise, because they went to him a lot. I'm just saying. That's not,
which is what you're looking for, though.
I guess I don't know. He makes me nervous as being I'm going after him and I'm going to start him. That makes me nervous.
He was in my others one. Those were guys I was like back and forth on.
Yeah, but anyways, that was week 1. Got my dick kicked in the dirt. But this happens in fantasy football.
Don't freak out.
This happens.
Let it ride. Give it a few weeks.
I would say for everyone, there's a very rarely where you go through and you're like, I killed it every single week. Yeah. I was the highest point scorer every single week. Yeah. You have at least one week where you go, ooh, this was bad.
It seems like one week you're like, my team's awesome. And then the next week you're like, I suck.
Yeah. So I'm going to make adjustments.
We're going to come back here next week and we'll be like, yeah,
Najee,
woo! I'm a fucking genius.
So, it was a bad week for me as far as that goes. But did you see at the VMAs? So we haven't talked about it very much. Both of us love UFC. We'll talk about it more. Right now, they're kind of in a slow time with fights. Actually, they have a fight this Saturday with Anthony Smith and this guy named Spawn, who's pretty good. And that one's an all right fight card. But Conor McGregor is my boy. Now, I want to say that. Bringing up
sponsored by Proper Number 12. Oh wait, he doesn't own it anymore.
Yeah, he still shouts it out though. Shout out to Proper 12. You're the best Scottish whiskey that's ever Irish, whatever. And
shit, you call it
Scottish, Irish.
It's
whatever.
Irish.
It's all the same fucking thing, isn't it? You're all right there on top of each other in the wet and the cold and the mush. No, but I would say Conor is my boy as far as I love the rise. I love the trash talking of old days where he knocked Aldo out and then the fights with Nate Diaz. Obviously, over the last couple of fights, I have to backpedal a little bit. And he was at the VMAs and he's on the red carpet. And I guess there was some like them trying to get them to take a picture with Machine Gun Kelly and him. They were trying to get Machine Gun Kelly and him to take a picture. Machine Gun Kelly refused. He said, no, I don't want to take a picture with you. So Conor gets
Did he want to take a picture with Megan Fox?
But Conor freaks out and tries to fight the kid. And is throwing his drink at him. Then immediately turns around and does an interview where there's footage of Conor saying to Machine Gun Kelly, hey, can we take a picture together? Let's take a picture. And him saying, nah, man, I don't know. Like, Machine Gun Kelly dissed him by saying, nah, I don't really fuck with you like that. Conor turns around into this interview and goes, I don't even know who the kid is. Some Vanilla Ice fucking white rapper. I don't even know who he is. Blah, 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 blah. It just looks bad, man. All this stuff looks bad. Calling out DC. Calling out Michael Bisping. Saying all this crazy shit, bro. Just train. If you really are about this, train. Stay off of social media. Come back and get a win. Because your last fight with Dustin Poirier, I'd love to sit here and point out, oh, yeah, this looked good. No, he was getting his ass kicked. He was on the ground, getting ground and pounded out, and then the leg broke. Now, I'm not saying he couldn't have changed it around. He came back and he beat that was also a hungry Conor McGregor. That was...
Yeah, how hungry are you when you have $100 million?
I mean, they made a Rocky movie about this. When Rocky got all his stuff... And he was super famous, and everybody loved him. Clubber Lang knocked him the fuck out because you're not in the same mindset. Yeah. So if you're gonna go down to where Apollo Creed, if you're gonna go with all the black guys, and you're gonna learn how to bounce on your toes, and you're gonna run in the beach with Apollo Creed, then I believe in you. I think I'm just talking about Rocky at this point. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if Conor can go from chilling in a yacht. Literally outside of, like, they're in Abu Dhabi. All the rest of the fighters are in the hotel. They're getting ready to go in. Conor's on a yacht with his family, a super yacht where he's chilling. And then he's like, oh, I got to go do a weigh-in.
I got to go. Right. Well, but the problem is that this is what made Conor Conor.
Right, from before.
Is doing all this stupid shit and saying all this stupid shit.
But he won.
Right. But now he's still doing it.
He's still doing it and he's losing. He just needs to be more humble about it.
It's not funny anymore. Now, it's not cute.
As a guy who just lost so badly, I'm still the greatest fantasy football player that's ever lived, and I'm going to win the championship this year. So I understand what he's doing.
I understand the mindset.
I just think there's maybe... And he used to be much funnier. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, it's
because he's trying.
It's red panty night when you're fighting Connor. When you get the fight versus Connor, it's red panty night. Like, there used to be funny shit. Like, who the fuck is that guy? That whole shit. Like, that was funny. Now where it's, oh, your dad was evil and I'm glad he died to Khabib. It's like, hey, man. Shit, I don't know if this is funny anymore. But that being said, brought to you by Proper Number 12, brought to you by Conor McGregor. I still love you, Conor.
And the UFC.
Brought to you by UFC. Love Dana White.
Hey, Dana.
Love you, Dana.
He looked real interested at the Raiders game.
You know what?
Every time you see Dana White on TV, this is what he's doing.
You know what I love? I love so much about Dana White. And listen, it's not the right thing to do. They should pay these fighters more. But he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck what you want. Oh, John Jones, you want 30 million or 60 million, whatever the fuck he asked for? I don't give a shit.
No.
Oh, you don't want to fight? I don't give a fuck. You can never fight again. None of you can ever fight again. I will literally find 200 more fighters and I will put on fights every single week. It's kind of badass. I love it. I love the UFC. I love it more than...
basically got a monopoly.
He has a monopoly. Yeah. They all know it. All the fighters know it. They can't even start a fighters union because for the Connors and the John Joneses and the Dustin Poiriers and the top of the spear that are like, hey, we should start a union so everybody can get paid. The dudes at the bottom that are hungry,
yeah, I'll fight.
They're like, what? He doesn't want it?
Well, in the Contender Series and stuff like that's so popular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're still doing the Ultimate Fighter.
All we want to do is watch dudes beat the shit out of each other.
An endless amount of people hitting him up saying, I'm a fighter. Please, I want to fight for you. Yeah. Everyone wants to fight for him. So, that being said,
and the ones that fight
John
for him
Jones versus Francis Ngannou is the fight. It is the fight. It's the biggest fight of all time. John Jones is the GOAT. And if he can beat Francis, it puts him down as the greatest of all time. It means he can beat up any human on this earth. But sure. Dana's not going to pay him. He's not going to pay him like that. And eventually, John will have to give in and just say, if I want to do this for my legacy,
or when he needs the money.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Depends on it. Yeah, what has he done with his money?
So recently.
Oh, hey, before I forget, hey Devlin, what's up, man? I was supposed to shout out Devlin.
Oh, Devlin.
Devlin says that he watches the waiver wire.
Not Devin.
Not Devlin.
Devlin. There's an L in there. And if you're thinking, man, what a weird name. Well, it goes along with our weird cat, Devlin. We love you, Devlin.
What's up, man? And I'm sorry that it took this long for me to remember.
I'm not sorry. But
hopefully you watched up to this point.
The fight's coming up. We have an okay one with Anthony Smith, like I said, this coming up Saturday. But 266, UFC 266 coming up on September 25th. It's going to be in Vegas. And it's Volkanovsky versus Ortega. I just watched the whole Ultimate Fighter this whole new season, which was really good. And Ortega and Volkanovsky do not like each other. This is going to be an interesting fight. I think Max Holloway beat Volkanovsky on the second fight. So I kind of have to see Volkanovsky as a champion. But Max Holloway, but he hung in there with Max Holloway. So it's weird when you're doing fighting math. You know, you're like, well, when he fought him, he did this. But Max Holloway beat the shit out of Brian Ortega. So by that mindset, you would think Volkanovsky should win. He's the favorite. He's a minus 165 favorite, which anytime it's in that 100 range, it means it's kind of a toss-up, but should be a really great fight. Then you got poor girl that Valentina Shevchenko is going to be sacrificed up to. Is going to be sacrificed to Shevchenko. Yeah. Some girl named Murphy. Have no idea what her first name is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're going to get head kicked. I'm sorry that she's going to beat the shit out of you. And I'm sorry.
Try to last to the second round.
Yeah, try to hang out. Try to give me a good fight so I can go, man, she wasn't bad. But she got TKO'd or submitted either way. Then Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler. For old school fighting fans, this is like, hell yeah. This is the second time.
This is his first fight in a long time, isn't it?
Actually, both of them. Robbie Lawler hasn't fought in a while either, and but not as long as Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz, I think this is like 7 years.
Yeah, like it's been a while.
But he just put a photo up on Instagram where he looks ripped. He's always in shape. Him and his brother,
they still do triathlons.
They do the craziest. They swim from Alcatraz. They have them dropped off at Alcatraz, and they swim from Alcatraz back to the mainland. Him and his brother do it all the time because they're psychopaths that are like, if we ever get fucking put in jail, like if we ever get put
if we ever need to get out of Alcatraz,
man? Who knows?
Can you swim through shark-infested waters? Yeah. Well, I can.
Yeah. And then the fourth fight on there, which is awesome, is Curtis Blades and Rosenstruik. That's an awesome heavyweight matchup. Rosenstruik is an up-and-comer, but Curtis Blades has been around for a while. Both of them. The heavyweight division is so weird because Francis has beat all these guys. He's knocked them all out. So it's like we don't know who to sacrifice up to Ngannou other than John Jones. I do think they should run Stipe back for a third fight. I know that he got obviously leveled in this last fight, but
what about Game?
Yeah, they're gonna do that. That's the next fight. But I'm saying they haven't lined up a fight for Stipe. And I really think
Stipe retired.
No, and that's what everybody thinks. But I mean, this guy's still in it. He's still got fights left in him.
He was mad that he didn't get to fight Game.
Yeah, and he is still. I mean, if we're talking about heavyweights, it goes Francis Ngannou, Stipe. Yeah. You don't get to bypass Derek Lewis past Stipe because I'm pretty sure Stipe beats Derek Lewis. You don't get to bypass Cyril Game past Stipe because I'm pretty sure Stipe beats him. So it's just tough because Stipe's been in so many wars. You said I thought he retired because it's what the fucking guy should do. He's had his fucking
he's 40.
He's got laid out so many times. DC knocked him out. Stefan Struve knocked him out. Fucking Francis knocked him out. You know, he's been in some absolute wars. He needs to retire.
I wouldn't.
But Jessica Andrade and Calvillo, that's a girl fight. And you got a couple of guys coming back that haven't been on here for a while. Dan Hooker's fighting a guy that I won't even pretend to know how to say. It goes HAQPA, blah, 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 from some country. I mean,
I like watching Hooker fight.
Well, Hooker's awesome. Marlon Moraes is fighting another guy with a crazy name I'm not going to try to say, but Marlon Moraes is an awesome fighter. And yeah, I think 266 is going to be a really good card. It's coming up on September 25th. Brought to you by the UFC. Brought to you by Monster Energy. I'm trying to think about what they're brought to you by. But we love the UFC, and we're going to talk about it more as more fights go on. But this was week 1. We're gonna erase this off, talk about week 2 a little bit. We talked about some people on the waiver wire, and then we'll get you out of here. Shout out to Monster Energy. Shout out to UFC.
DraftKings. Oh, and I saw a FanDuel commercial.
Oh, so it does exist.
It still exists. Shout out to FanDuel.
Brought to you by FanDuel as well. So we'll go to this quick commercial break brought to you by FanDuel. Welcome back. So, we talked. You know, me and Dannon have been going back and forth. Obviously, we've done millions of these, and you guys are sick of this. No, we're new to this, and we're trying to figure it out. I think it's a nice. It's somewhere in the middle of. You like it when we go off the rails, but we need to come back to the rails at some point. You know, the train can it can grow wings and it can fly, but as long as it lands back on the track.
Don't stay off too long.
Yeah. As long as the track is somewhere in sight, you know, we don't need to go too far off. So we talked a lot about week 1. Now we want to get into week 2. Hopefully you got some good waiver wire stuff out of us. I think for me, Christian Kirk, Sterling Shepard, surprisingly enough, Elijah Mitchell. Those are some of the names that jump out at me as like
Gronk. If for some reason
I don't know if he'd be out there. I mean, I think most people drafted him late. Not saying they drafted him high, but I think he was a late pick, especially because tight ends were so weird this year. I think a lot of people went, yeah, fuck it, give me Gronk just in case.
I guess unless you're in that league like I am, but even in the league that I'm in, I think that he's worth picking up.
Yeah, like the Turkish guy has Logan Thomas and Gronk, and so he obviously started Logan Thomas. He did the right thing. He did what he was supposed to do, and he was mad at himself. He was like, I should have started Gronk. I'm like, no way, dude. Like,
how nobody?
Yeah, even
he just had his best.
Even
game
going
of the
into
season.
this next week, I mean, he's talking about maybe we have 2 flexes, so he's talking about maybe playing Gronk in one of the flex spots. It's not a bad idea if you have 2 that are working. I mean, do what you got to do. But anyways. Waiver wire wise, that's my go-to. Christian Kirk, I think that's his big one.
I think that Mitchell is the top
bigger on Mitchell
one,
especially because running backs are hard to come by.
Right? Because again, if you can get a top 10 running back now,
yeah, true.
Would you take it?
True.
Of course.
Also, one that I didn't mention, and I'm high on, is the Cardinals defense. The Cardinals defense is hanging out there in a lot of leagues, and I mean, shit. Fucking Chandler Jones is gonna get
if he's gonna go 5 a game.
But they have other people on that team that just look good. That defense looked good. Buda Baker,
Patrick Patterson's still there.
Peterson? I don't believe so.
What's his name? Patrick Peterson.
Patrick Peterson. No, I don't believe so. I don't know where he's at. He might have just. I think he might just be done. I think he might be retired. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. We need to
look it up.
Look it up.
Hey,
but
look this up
no.
For us.
I think Arizona was one of the most.
I was speaking of look
teams.
this up. Devlin wanted to.
Ooh.
I was like, hey, he'd be a good one to make fun of too.
Yeah. I'm not against that at all. I love me some Devlin. I'm not against that at all. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I love that idea, actually. All right, so let's go to week 2 then. We'll talk about Thursday night's game. Kind of a interesting interconference game of the Giants and Washington. We both talk bad about the Giants, and I think for good reason. I think the Washington wins.
Well, it's
because
they suck.
It's because they suck. Yeah. And I think Washington's a good team. They played really well against the Chargers. They just ended up coming up short at the end. But I think they win this game.
I think they win this game,
a 3.5 point favorite at home. I think they got that easy. I think Taylor Heineke comes out and does his job. I think they run the ball with Antonio Gibson. I think if you have Antonio Gibson, you're definitely excited for this week because the Giants are bad.
Yep. I'm a little hesitant on their pass catchers. I'm still going to play McLaurin.
No. What did he get you?
I mean, he's double digits.
Yeah, couldn't have been terrible.
No,
yeah, I think, and plus Curtis Samuel's going to be out for a while. So
yeah, start your normal Washington guys. Probably nobody other than Gibson, McLaurin, Thomas.
Yeah, I wouldn't start Taylor Heineke, but
no,
if you're feeling crazy. And then we'll go into
hold on, the Giants. And what do you think about Barkley? I mean, are you starting him this week?
You have to start Barkley because he's your first pick. You don't have a choice. If you have Barkley, that means you took him in the first round, and you've got to play him till the wheels fall off. You've got to play him at least for 2 weeks. You can't give up after 1 week. I can't give up.
I'm not saying give up, but I'm thinking maybe Benjamin.
No, that's because you're smart and you know that you should have never picked Saquon Barkley in the first place. No, I'd keep him in there, especially because Washington. I mean, if
they've
got a good defense. Yeah, no, I hear you. It's a bad matchup.
I'm benching Barkley this week.
It's a bad matchup.
I am benching Saquon.
I wouldn't be starting no Sterling Shepard if you get him off the waiver wire.
I ain't starting any Giants.
I wouldn't do no. Yeah, the Giants
maybe
suck.
Sterling Shepard.
No, the Giants suck. I mean, Kenny Galladay, you would hope would do better than Sterling Shepard, but it didn't happen week 1.
Good defense, bad offense.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into Houston. I'm always going to start off with Houston and Cleveland. That's one of the noon games. I mean, maybe I'm wrong again.
We're going to win this motherfucker.
Are you really? Are you picking?
No. I want to pick them so bad, but I think let's be realistic here.
Cleveland's one of the better teams in the AFC.
Cleveland is a good team.
They have a good defense.
They should destroy us.
I think they beat us. They are a 12.5 point favorite.
I'll still take Houston in 12.5.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if anything, because we didn't talk about.
It's just a lot of points, man.
The line went up to 9 points for Tampa Bay on Thursday, so they were a 9-point favorite. And a guy that bets a lot came in and told me that was a gift. David, shout out David.
What's up, David?
David said, that it was a gift. That's 9 points is crazy in the NFL. You really can't count on that kind of thing. Maybe with Kansas City against a really bad team, or
I think Houston's gonna be competitive.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think that they'll lose, and you'll see that Cleveland's probably a better team. But 12.5.
If you're betting with mybookie.com. Or FanDuel, DraftKings, I'm not against what you're saying. I think 12.5 is crazy. I think that we probably cover those points,
but Cleveland wins.
We lose in the end. Yeah, right. we definitely lose.
And anybody you're starting from Houston?
No, I don't have any Houston, and I wouldn't do it against Cleveland. Cleveland has a pretty good defense.
Cleveland has a good defense.
But Cleveland wise,
are you starting Odell if he plays this week?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah,
but so you're starting all your Cleveland.
Yeah, I think Cleveland has a good week.
Chubb,
they score
Landry.
30+ points. It could go anywhere. It could, if you're getting Njoku off
I was gonna say, is Njoku worth playing?
Houston is one of those defenses that look, we looked good against Jacksonville. We also let Jacksonville score some points. We had to score 37 or 38 or whatever it was to win the game. So I don't see us scoring 30+ against the Browns, and I see us, giving up some points because of our defense. So I think Cleveland all around. You start them, you're doing the right thing. Next one I got is Cincinnati and Chicago. I'm going to take Cincinnati in this.
I took Chicago.
I mean, I don't disagree. It's kind of what there's Chicago's a 3-point favorite at home. Chicago didn't.
Should I take Cincinnati in the points?
Yeah, I mean,
I take Cincinnati.
Cincinnati looked good. They fought back against Minnesota, who is a better team than they are. Like Minnesota has more people on their team that have been in it and been to the playoffs and should be better than Cincinnati, who are a bunch of young kids. They came in, they played well. Their defense is spotty.
Yeah, this is one I wasn't necessarily confident on as far as the pick.
I mean, if you keep Andy Dalton out there, that ain't going to work. So unless Justin Fields comes in and he lights it up, and then maybe I could be wrong. But I'm going to go with Cincinnati here. Then as far as starting people, Jamar Chase, if you got him, go ahead and put him out there.
Looks like he's a pretty good
And Joe Burrow liked him. He was going to him a lot.
I think he was his most targeted receiver.
For sure. So T. Higgins also played really well, and I wouldn't be against that.
Tyler Boyd,
Joe Mixon, obviously.
Mixon, man, you're gonna have to play him. Would you start Burrow? He didn't. I don't think he had a great fantasy game.
Chicago has an okay defense. I don't know. That'd be tough.
They're gonna throw that much. Burrow's bound to have some good games.
I'd still be nervous about it this early.
I wouldn't start him, but
I'd be nervous. Yeah. But interesting.
Anybody you starting on Chicago?
No. I mean, I don't.
Montgomery.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
Probably the only one. Robinson. You're probably starting Robinson.
I guess. Again, I guess. But Cincinnati's scrappy, and they played well. I really have Cincinnati winning this game. The Bears look bad, in my opinion, and I don't see it getting better for the Bears.
Because not until Fields plays.
Even with Fields, I'm not sold on him, and he's going to run a lot. He's going to have to. Their receivers don't get good separation. I'm not in on the Bears, but maybe I'm wrong.
Remember when Deshaun was fucking rookie and we just weren't sure, and motherfucker came out and just balled out.
You think Justin Fields is Deshaun Watson?
Could be.
No
but
way.
What if he is?
Deshaun was a proven championship, like what he did at Clemson when they beat Alabama that year. That was where you were like, damn, this dude's for real. And all of us that slept on him in the draft, because we were like, I don't know, can he be an NFL quarterback? He came in immediately and was an NFL quarterback from the jump.
Yeah.
If Justin Fields was that, then I don't think they start Andy Dalton.
What if
maybe Nagy's an idiot?
Nagy's just a fucking idiot?
Maybe Nagy's an idiot. I don't know. Okay, enough on Cincinnati and Chicago. Okay, so the Rams in Indianapolis, the Rams are a 4-point favorite on the road. I think they win this game easy.
Yeah, I'd take the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to do a strange thing, and just out of loyalty, because the Colts defense has done good in the past, I'm going to keep them on my team, but I'm benching them for sure. I'm going to have to go find something else, and Darius Leonard, you better turn this shit around or else you guys are gone. I'm fucking letting you go. And I know that makes you worried. I know that you're sitting there going, I can't let that happen. So fight for it. But yeah, as far as the Rams go, I'm starting Robert Woods again. I mean,
Cooper Kupp.
If it's anything like what Seattle just did, if Seattle just hung 28 on them and looked as good as they did, I have to assume the Rams are going to do the same. So I'm excited. I mean, Robert Woods should do better. Cooper Kupp.
What about the running backs? Because Henderson got most of the touches, I believe.
And he'd be the only one that
Sonny
really
Michel didn't get shit. But that would, you'd assume that Sonny Michel gets
that's not
more.
Going to happen. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You don't think that they'll ease him in?
No, he's a garbage time. When they're up, they'll put him in. But I think Darrell Henderson is going to be because they wanted to go Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson be their third down kind of backup running back. They're panicked that Sonny Michel's even there. They're like, oh shit, this ain't gonna work. But that being said, Indianapolis did not look good. I don't believe in Carson Wentz. I don't believe that they can get the job done. They're running back by committees. Jonathan Taylor didn't wow me.
Tyler Higbee had 5 receptions on 6 targets for 11 points. About him.
Higbee is an interesting one. He's probably out there on the waiver wire, and I don't hate it. Obviously, I don't know what I'm doing with tight ends, so not a bad idea. Then we go to Buffalo and Miami. I think we're both going to go Buffalo here.
Yeah, get right game.
Yeah, Buffalo is going to get right. I think they beat Miami, but I think it's a good game. Buffalo's a 3.5 point favorite on the road. I think that's a good number because I think they realize that Miami's going to hang in there. I don't think it's a blowout.
Stomp them out. Stomp them out, Buffalo. Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Lots of points, bro.
That's what you want. You want Josh Allen to go
Lots
off.
of points, yeah.
Yeah, and I would start Stephon Diggs. I would start, I have Devin Singletary. Now, fantasy-wise, he didn't go off, but they used him.
He's better, yeah, because they didn't.
But it was a weird game.
Zach Moss.
It was a weird game. It was a game where offensively neither Pittsburgh or Buffalo really did much.
Buffalo just wants to throw the ball. That's what they want to do.
But they were checking down to Devin Singletary.
Really?
So that's
he
my
might
hope.
He might actually be
in a pinch, if I have to, I'm not going to start him. But
if they're going to give him the touches, then he's valuable.
And as far as Miami goes. I'm tempted to put Jalen Waddle in a starting position.
Put him in as a flex.
Yeah, but right now I have Josh Jacobs and Chase Claypool there, and I like
put
both
him in
of
instead
those.
of Claypool.
But Claypool has that. You talked about how in a 10-team league you need that player that's just going to go off, and he has the potential of being a go off.
So is Waddle.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, if you want to start him, play him instead of Jacobs.
Yeah, interesting. And
Jacobs is going to have
Vegas has got Pittsburgh. They're playing Pittsburgh, so that's a tough. It's a tough matchup. Tough matchup for Josh Jacobs this week. But yeah, for me, easy game for Buffalo. Buffalo's going to win this.
I think so.
I wouldn't start Tua.
If
I had him. Then we go Jets and Patriots at the Jets. New England is a 5.5 point favorite. I think deservedly so. I think they win. They didn't blow me away, but I think they looked good. They looked better than they did with Cam.
I'm taking the Jets in this one.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I think Jets win outright. Take the points.
Well, the Jets have an interesting thing where Zach Wilson had moments that were like, oh, that was good. And then he had moments where he looked like a rookie. But so did Mac Jones. So this might be a very evenly matched game. And I wouldn't be blown away if the Jets won. It wouldn't blow my hair back.
Start Corey Davis.
Start your boy Corey Davis. Nobody else.
Pretty much nobody else.
Nobody. Even Michael Carter, who everyone was like, well, he's the starter. Mia, shut your whore mouth. But on the Patriots side, I have Jacoby Myers. You brought up Nelson Aguilar. Jonnu Smith, he got some looks. Yeah, but then again, so did Hunter Henry. Again, I just think it's the Josh McDaniels way to kind of spread it out.
The volume's just not going to be there.
Yeah, I just don't
know. Week in and week out.
I wouldn't start a Patriot against the Jets. Even though the Jets are a defense. I wouldn't do
Nobody that I would start confidently.
No. So then we go to San Francisco and Philly. Now,
fuck you, San Francisco.
If you had asked me last week, I would have said, "Oh, San Francisco's going to stomp them out." Now I'm like, this is a great game because Philly looks so good.
Yeah, I had a hard time picking San Francisco, but I did. Yeah.
I'm going to pick San Francisco, but
don't be shocked if Philly wins this game.
They're a 3.5-point favorite on the road, and it could be that close of a game.
I think if I was betting, I'd feel better betting on Philly.
Go Philly with the points because it probably is like a 1 or 2 point game.
Could be.
Probably comes down to the very end.
This could also be a low scoring game too.
Maybe. Although, Philly beat down Atlanta, who just looks so bad. But San Francisco, they let Detroit creep right back in that game. And if San Francisco jumps out to a lead and they do the same thing with Philly,
but the Lions are fucking really good, man.
Okay. Well,
fucking Hawkinson is like the best tight end ever.
Jared Goff put up some goddamn points, man.
He put up like fucking 30 something.
38 something. Yeah, I can't.
I wish I played Jared Goff. I won.
Chill out. But
fucking Josh Allen.
As far as
why didn't I draft Jared Goff?
I didn't have Eagles on my radar before, like Devontae Smith or Rieger.
Yeah, Devontae Smith actually looked really good and got a huge target share.
You start him, especially
confidently start him. Rager had like 5 or 6
and Goddard looked good.
Yeah, and I think he's obviously the number 1 tight end.
He's probably not out there in the waiver wire, but
but
I would start.
Everybody worried about Zach Ertz. I don't think you really have to. Well,
Zach Ertz
doesn't seem like it.
Did he play?
I don't fucking know.
I don't think so. He's kind of fallen off.
He's done.
Yeah.
He's got that hot soccer.
San Francisco should win this game. It's a very interesting game. Who did you take? San Francisco?
I took San Francisco. Yeah, but again, don't be shocked if Philly wins. It's in
very
Philly.
Interesting game. Wasn't interesting to me a week ago, but after seeing Philly now, I'm like, all right, this is going to be a good game. So as far as San Francisco people, I
don't think I'm starting Brandon Ayuk this week.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Not after what happened.
You start Kittle, you start Debo Samuel.
Start Kittle, start Debo, start Elijah Mitchell if you get him.
I don't know about that.
I think, man, at least in a flex role.
Okay, but Philly's defense, I know it was Atlanta, but they shut them down. They kicked their ass. Now, if that Philly defense comes out and does that and starts punching San Francisco in the mouth, now they're going to have to throw the ball. And so they're not going to be running the ball the way that they did in this. They ran the ball like this in this Detroit game because they were up fucking 30. It was like 30 to 3. Like they were killing them. But anyways, interesting game. Probably one of the more interesting games of the week. Going into another interesting game, which is Vegas and Pittsburgh. Please, Pittsburgh, please get on to the track that I thought you would. Go off Najee, just all day. Go Najee left and Najee right. And when Najee gets tired, you give him a bump of Coke and you say, get out there and do it for Lawrence Taylor,
Throw it a couple times to Johnson.
Claypool. He said the wrong name. Chase Claypool. But
I thought you were going to start Waddle over fucking Claypool.
I know, right? What am I going to do?
If you start Waddle, then they can just throw it to Deontay Johnson all day.
If I start Waddle, then Claypool will have a 3-touchdown game.
Will. Yeah.
And I'll have 40 points on my fucking bench. No, but
that's the hard part about these 10-team leagues. This is a weird
game. What's the line? Yeah, Pittsburgh.
I took Vegas.
Well, Pittsburgh's a 5.5-point favorite at home. Maybe they see what I see, where I thought Raiders were real sloppy. They got lucky because Lamar did really poorly at the second half of that game. And I don't know. I am tempted to maybe sit Josh Jacobs because I do think Pittsburgh, TJ Watt looked fucking good.
Yeah, he did.
And so their defense looked good. They hit.
Pittsburgh has a good defense. They always do.
I'm going to take
Pittsburgh. What's his fucking name that they stole from Miami?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Minka Fitzpatrick. Yeah, they did steal him, and he's really good. So I'm gonna go Pittsburgh in this, and only because I am all Pittsburgh down on my fantasy team, and I need them all to go off. And please, Big Ben, do it for me. And then we go to New Orleans and Carolina, both 1-0. Very interesting. New Orleans is a 3.5-point favorite on the road. I went New Orleans.
I
circled it on there. However,
not confident.
I'm nervous about it. Yeah, I'm nervous about it. Carolina looked pretty good. They looked pretty good. I mean, obviously Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson is a deep ball threat. Sam Darnold with a good offensive line in front of him wasn't getting tackled a lot.
Christian McCaffrey.
You know, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. And this is like a trap game for New Orleans, who just came out and looked so good. This is the kind of game where Jameis goes out and throws like 3 or 4 picks, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
I still think New Orleans is going to win it.
Well, and obviously on both of these teams, if you have people on these teams, you're going to go ahead and start them. Yeah, New Orleans defense looked killer, and maybe they do just go out and kill Carolina. And so if you start Robbie Anderson, you get fucked. Or if you start, you got to start Christian McCaffrey.
I wouldn't be shocked if New Orleans came out and killed him either.
I wouldn't be shocked either. I think that
I would be shocked if Carolina came out and stomped
if it's the other
New
way
Orleans.
around, if Carolina stomps out New Orleans, that'll be shocking.
And I wouldn't be shocked if it was close either. You know, close game or New Orleans.
3.5 points seems right. It seems like a good line.
Starting Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, you're gonna start Alvin
Anderson.
Kamara. You're gonna start. I don't know about receiver wise on the Saints. I don't know who you'd start. This is not really.
Yeah, it wasn't clear cut who he wanted to throw to. He
went
everywhere, but he also threw 5 touchdowns. So
true. So maybe
go start any of them.
Was Marquez Callaway? Did he go off? I don't really remember.
I didn't ever actually.
But New Orleans, Carolina.
Things that I need to look into for next week.
That's a question mark game for me. I circled New Orleans on there, but
I took New Orleans too, but I took way too many fucking away teams.
Seems like I did too. And then let's go to the last noon game, which is Denver and Jacksonville. Denver is a 6-point favorite on the road.
Wow.
But
I took Denver, but I think I would bet Jacksonville.
I circled Jacksonville, and let me tell you,
definitely bet Jacksonville.
I think it's a bounce back game. I think also Denver's not. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater and, like you said, Jerry Jeudy's hurt, so they kind of become less dynamic now with
Jacksonville just gave up 30-something points to the Texans.
I know, but I think that was like I think they slept on the Texans too. I think that's
maybe they did.
I think
a lot of people, because the Texans are they were Vegas's pick to finish last,
right? So I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars came into this thinking, we got this. We're going to fucking kill this team. And they got surprised. So I'm not saying
Urban Meyer's fault. You hear that, Urban?
It's not a blowout. Come on, man. It's not a
get them ready.
It's not a Jaguars blowout. It's a close game.
Yeah, it's because they're going to lose.
But I mean, with the 6 points, you might think
I would definitely take the 6 points.
Yeah, I would take
at home.
I would take Jacksonville.
Home dogs.
Yeah, home dogs. 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to start Cortland Sutton.
Well, Jacksonville's a bad defense. You probably should. If you have Noah Fant, I think it's a good idea, especially if
I have Noah Fant too, but I can't start him.
No, because you got TJ fucking Hawkinson. And then
you want Noah Fant? You want Noah Fant? What do you give me for him?
I know. I'm thinking about it.
What you got?
I got Javonte Williams, the running back.
Who the hell is that?
I talk so highly of him, and you'll see. It's gonna happen, man. You got to wait for him to pay off, but on your team, so that my team can have a tight end.
I'll look into it. Maybe you have somebody. We could make a package deal.
On Jacksonville, I guess you got to start James Robinson, but
you were not excited about it because Carlos Hyde is definitely taking some touches away.
And some of those other guys like DJ Charks and
Denver's got a decent defense.
So, they do. So I wouldn't be excited about starting any of those guys either.
Not really. No. I mean,
yeah. All right, and then we go into the 3:00 games of Minnesota and Arizona at Arizona. Arizona's a 4.5 point favorite. I think if it's anything like what we just saw, I've got to go Arizona here. Arizona looked nasty.
Think so, but Minnesota's still a good.
They fought back and they lost that game to Cincinnati, but they didn't look bad.
But yeah, if we're comparing what we saw week 1, there's not a whole lot of teams I would pick to beat Arizona right now.
Yeah, they looked really good.
They did.
I'm going Arizona. I think 4.5. They definitely cover that. Yeah, Arizona. I'm starting all of them. If I get Christian Kirk, I'm starting Christian Kirk.
Hopkins.
Are
you starting Chase Edmonds? I mean, because him and Connor basically split the work.
No, they kind of went back and forth, and neither one of them did much.
Yeah, I would prefer Edmonds just because he gets the passes, but I'm not excited about either one of their backfield.
And on Minnesota, you're starting Thielen, you're starting Justin Jefferson, and you might start Osborne if you're in a deeper league.
If he's going to get 4, he got 7 catches. So.
Yeah, I mean, he did well.
I would think that they're going to want to feed Justin Jefferson more, like at least try to. And maybe he was just I don't know, maybe he got benefited because they've just put so much, all the safety help and shit went to that side.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyhow.
Then we go Atlanta into my guy, TB12. Atlanta, who looked so bad.
Wow, if they don't crush, yeah. So Atlanta just lost to Philly.
How big do you think the line is?
God damn. Who was a 12-point favorite?
It was Houston and Cleveland. Cleveland's a 12.5 point.
Holy shit.
This is 12.5 as well.
Jesus, yeah. Wow.
12.5 at home. I said they were going to beat the Cowgirls by that much, but I think if Philly can beat Atlanta by that much, if I'm playing fight math, then I have to assume that Tampa Bay.
If we're thinking about this just in NFL terms, it'll be less than 12.5 points.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe going the points there is the safe bet.
But I just don't. How is Atlanta going to? Who's going to score? How are they going to score?
Calvin Ridley.
Hopefully.
On the hopes that enough of these secondary because the thing is Jordan Whitehead didn't play last week for the Tampa Bay, and Murphy Bunting went out of the game with a hyperextended elbow, and he's questionable for this week.
So their secondary's
banged up. So you could
throw it to Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, I want 10 catches, 235 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's all I want.
As long as Tom Brady wins, that's all that matters.
Hopefully he's not playing against me in the other league.
But as far as the Buccaneers go,
start them all. Well, start the 3 receivers. Start them all. Start Brady. I'm not excited about the backfield.
No. Even Leonard Fournette couldn't get going, and I wouldn't start any of them. I would not start a running back from the Buccaneers.
Jesus, the game Gronk.
Antonio Brown,
if Gronk's back to being Gronk, that's scary.
Scary.
He's every bit as good as.
And Antonio Brown's Antonio Brown.
No shit.
What year is this?
I know, right?
And fucking Julian Edelman's gonna show up soon.
Man, Brady's giving everybody fucking something.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm getting on TB12.
It's baby stem cells.
I'm going TB12. Whatever they're putting in that shit.
Shitting baby juice in their mouths. And
yeah.
That's exactly what
baby
it sounded
stem
like.
cell
Juice.
Fucking, what do you call it? The umbilical cord.
They're sucking on that like a lollipop. So then we go to Dallas and Chargers.
I think I took the Chargers. I did.
I did too. The Chargers are a 3-point favorite at home. But I think that this is.
Although I can see Dallas winning.
This is a tough game.
Yeah.
This is definitely now that I saw Dallas play, it makes me say, okay, they're gonna fight. This isn't gonna be an easy game. This is gonna be a hard fought game. And if Dallas wins, it won't surprise me either. The Chargers are 1-0, so they're confident. For my sake, for fucking Justin Herbert. Please fucking sling that rock.
But I think that Dallas's defense isn't as good as Washington.
Yes.
So the Chargers should have a much better game.
Yes.
And
that's what I'm saying.
Fucking
as far as my matchups go, because I'm like Chargers, and I have Chris Godwin going up against the Falcons. I have Pittsburgh going up against the Raiders, who just struggled. I have better matchups this week, so I shouldn't. If I lay up
my teams are projected to score more this week.
I have the Packers going to. I have Robert Tonyan going up against the fucking Lions. I swear to God, Aaron Rodgers. But let's finish this off. Chargers, Dallas. I picked the Chargers as well. It's going to be a close game. If you have Dallas, you're starting. Wait, how long is Gallup out? Did they say? Well, either way, you're starting those other two.
I think that if I remember correctly, I think he went on the IL.
Even though CeeDee Lamb started off really bad, he dropped a lot of balls at the beginning of that game, and I thought, oh boy, this guy's a bust. He ended up with 7 catches, 100-something yards, 2 touchdowns.
Start him, start Cooper. Unfortunately, you gotta keep sticking with Zeke.
Only because he was your first pick and you made a mistake. but that's a mistake.
I still feel better about Zeke than I would about fucking Barkley. Like I'm not even thinking about benching Zeke yet.
Yeah, but the Chargers defense is good. And I think they shut that down. I think that's the game plan is make Dak throw, and because that's what Tampa did.
Why would you want to make Dak throw?
Because
they did it their strength.
Well, I guess if you have the go, here's how Tom Brady always operates as far as defensively. It's the best when you try to get in a shootout with me. Because if you give me a minute and a half at the end and we've been in a shootout, I'm going to beat you every time. Yeah. I'm going to get down to as far as I need to get and kick a field goal. But if you're a running team and you just keep running me off the field and then you run the ball, and the time of possession is just – then Brady has a hard time with that. But we're talking about Brady. And I think that Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, I think all those guys on the Chargers have a good game. I think they come out and they play well.
A much better game.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the Chargers here at home. Goes on to our last 3:25 game, and that's Tennessee at Seattle. I know that Tennessee looked bad, and Seattle's a 5.5 point favorite. I'm going to take. I think I took. Wait, who did I take on?
I took Seattle.
Yeah, but I took Seattle on there. I circled Seattle on there.
I'm not sure.
But let me tell you, I'm confused because Tennessee to me was the clear-cut favorite to win our division. They were bringing back all of their offense with A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry adding Julio Jones. Now you say their defense was bad. I say they were all right. They were all right. They got the job done. Right. They got them pretty far in the playoffs. Yeah. And I think that this is a tight game. I think 5.5 points is crazy. I would take Tennessee with the points if you're betting because I think Tennessee bounces back. I would not surprise me at all if Tennessee won. Seattle looks so good. I think that's why I circled them on there was that Seattle did look so good that it makes me just go, I think I got to stay with it. However,
and again, from week to week, it always changes. And we can't necessarily.
Would it shock you if Tennessee won this game?
No. And it would. Man, could you imagine Tennessee being 0-2?
Yeah, that would be shocking. And Houston's 2-0. We beat the Browns and we're 2-0.
when we beat the Browns,
or win a Super Bowl. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Tennessee wise, you're starting A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. You're going to just keep rolling with it. You're starting Derrick Henry.
Or just start Tannehill.
Not against Seattle.
Not in a regular. Not in a one quarterback league.
No. On Seattle, you're starting Lockett and DK Metcalf. You're starting Chris Carson. Yeah, you are starting Chris Carson because if there's that was one thing that.
Oh, but what about here's the one we should. What about Everett? Gerald Everett.
He's an interesting one. I know he got a touchdown, and I know that he's not available in our waiver wire.
Not available.
And I would guess that if you are. He probably went late in a lot of leagues. He's probably not available on a lot of waiver wires. I'm not against it. Again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about on tight ends. I don't have one. So
he only had he only caught 2 balls.
One of them was a touchdown. Yeah. Which Russ,
I guess the point is he does like to throw to his tight ends,
especially for touchdowns. You can almost count on that Russell Wilson will find the tight end in the end zone.
Looks like Tennessee's pretty good against the tight end, so maybe not this
Interesting game. Probably one of the best games of the week. Yeah,
should be.
Going Seattle, but I don't feel great about it. Then the night game is Kansas City at Baltimore. Kansas City is a 3.5 point road favorite. I think they cover that easy.
I think so too.
I think they don't like that Cleveland was as close as they were, and I think they're a little fired up. And I think the defense plays well, and I think they come out and they stomp them out. It's like primetime game, They just lost the Super Bowl, and now they almost lost to fucking Baker Mayfield. I think that there's going to be some pent-up energy. I see all of them doing well. Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and they don't like Baltimore.
No, and Baltimore, here's the thing. Like, you want to get in a game with Baltimore where – he's running it down your throat and then maybe makes a couple throws to Marquise Brown and they're up 30-0 and you go, oh, shit, I don't think we can come back from this. But Kansas City has a never say die attitude. They're not looking at, it doesn't matter what you score. Even in this last week, Cleveland was up 22-10 or whatever. And even as a viewer, I wasn't like,
you always thought that
Kansas City can't do this. You always think like, They can put up points.
He does
quick.
have a Brady-esque thing about him where he always believes that he can come back and win.
I got Kansas City winning this easy.
I got Kansas City winning this too. I wasn't super impressed with Baltimore yesterday.
I wouldn't start a lot of Baltimore either.
I sure hope. I'm going to keep starting Lamar because with his running, he's going to get me.
Wonder how many points he got.
He got 20-ish. 22, 23, I think.
Yeah, but Marquise Brown is so up and down. I've had him in the past, and I wouldn't feel good about starting him.
You kind of got to start Andrews.
You got to.
Who knows with their backfield? Hopefully Latavius Murray gets all the carries this week.
Maybe this Tyson Williams kid is for real, and maybe you get lucky with that.
Yeah.
I don't think against Kansas City because I don't think you're going to be running the ball. I think you're going to be trying to throw as you try to climb back in the game. But that's just me thinking that Kansas City is going to run
if
away
it gets
with this.
out of hand. Yeah.
And then Monday night, so obviously
start Mahomes.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Start Mahomes.
If you're feeling crazy. And Kermit,
this is what we're not the best in the business.
I just love how he sounds like he sounds like Kermit the Frog, Patrick Mahomes. We just come out there, we try to play really well, Miss Piggy, and I just, I feel like that we're always the best team on the field, and it's like, wow, I didn't expect you to sound like that. So the Monday night game, wow. How crazy would it be, too, if Jared Goff just...
I fucking hope so.
I kind of do, too, at this point.
I hope so.
And Green Bay's a 10.5-point favorite at home.
No way. Are they really?
Yeah,
I'm definitely taking Detroit in the 10.5. I might actually really bet on that one. Just for fucking, just because.
If the theories are correct that he's throwing it and he's trying to get kicked off this team.
Telling you, bro. Yeah.
Maybe maybe you can see it in
Aaron
his eyes.
Rodgers to Washington.
Aaron Rodgers is somewhere. I could see Aaron Rodgers going to Washington. I could see him maybe making a push for Vegas. I could see him making a push and saying, "Hey, John, trade me for Derek Carr and a couple of picks and you got me and that we'll make a run at this." And honestly, think about that. I mean, Aaron Rodgers with Darren Waller and Harry Ruggs, who's a good Hunter Renfrow. He's better than Derek Carr, and he makes them look a lot better. There's a couple of teams.
I bet you that would lower Waller's value though, because he ain't gonna throw it to him fucking 20 times.
Dude, but there were times last night where he was being double covered. He had a man over top and a man below, and Derek Carr's trying to sail it over the first guy and drop it. I'm like, dude, there's got to be somebody else open. And then they showed at one point, Brian Greasy draws it on the screen where Darren Waller's wide the fuck open.
And he doesn't throw it to him.
It's like, okay. Derek Carr, you just might not be the brightest crown in the box.
But he's pretty.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what
just like his
just
fucking
like
brother.
David.
Yeah, just like his fucking brother.
He's so pretty though.
Yeah, so pretty and so bad at the game of football that he's been hired to play. I think that you're right on the points because look, Detroit climbed back in that game with San Francisco, and
anytime there's double-digit points.
San Francisco looked good. Yeah. Green Bay looked terrible. So by that math, I have to assume this is going to be a closer game. And even if Green Bay looks better and say they jump out, Jared Goff showed that he can climb back in a game.
Yeah. And the other thing, the Lions showed that they weren't
going to quit. Yeah,
right.
Deandre Swift
keep fucking playing.
Yeah. I like their head coach Campbell. He seemed like he was fired up during the whole game. Former player Dan Campbell, and brought to you by Campbell Soup.
I don't know. I'm starting to my Detroit Lions.
So you're starting T.J. Hawkinson. Obviously.
I'm gonna start him. I'm gonna start Hawkinson.
Is there anybody else on the Lions you're starting? Well, if you have Deandre Swift, obviously.
Swift, yeah. Obviously. And what's his name?
I would assume you took Swift.
God damn it! I
Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams.
That's his name.
The former Packer.
Oh yeah. So he had.
He did all right, but I wouldn't start him. I'd be nervous starting Jamal Williams. I would not feel 100% on that. But Green Bay wise, you're obviously going to start Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
You're going to start Aaron Rodgers because he's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, he had 9 carries. He had 25 points.
I swear to God, Robert Tonyan. I swear to God. Please.
Oh, that's what it was. So,
just give me something.
So homeboy Williams had 8 receptions for 56 yards.
Oh, wow.
8 fucking again, that was them coming back. But
well, if he's in the game,
scored 25 points.
Yeah, if he's in the game and they're throwing it to him, then
somebody owns him.
Why not?
Somebody's got him.
No.
In a 10.
Anyways,
league.
Detroit, Green Bay, kind of a lame Monday night game. It'll be fucking hilarious.
Hell no, man! We're gonna fucking watch.
Well, it will be
watch the Lions.
It will be if the Lions start kicking their dicks in. That'll be awesome.
I can't wait for this game.
That'll be awesome.
It didn't seem like much of a game last night or last week,
but now it does.
But after fucking Rodgers was out there, like.
He just
actually, you know what, Aaron? Just cut your hair. I think that's the problem.
He just didn't look.
You grew your hair out, and you became.
He didn't even look like it mattered to him that it was going bad. You know.
Yeah.
You know
he didn't look like he gave a fuck.
Like he looked like Jay Cutler almost. Like like Jay Cutler's face always was like, I don't fucking care. Like, oh, you think I give a fuck? I have a fucking.
Come on, Rodgers, you better than that. Don't be a little
I got a Raptor
bitch.
outside that I'm gonna drive home, and you can't touch me. Yeah, I think this will be a very interesting week. We'll get to kind of see if some of our theories are correct. We're going to get to finally do a waiver wire. We're going to get to see who we got on the waiver wire. I'm going to check it out because I don't think it should be in the order that you're saying.
I'm just telling you what it looked like. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I can fix it.
I've been wrong before.
I should be able to fix it, and it should go in the opposite order of our draft.
Of the draft,
right?
I would think so.
All right, I can do that. I'll go on tonight and change it.
Like that would be the only way to do it after week 1, right? Yeah, because that person had the disadvantage.
Yeah, because there's nobody's done a waiver as far as I know.
I mean, I've picked people up.
Who did it?
But I didn't make a waiver claim.
It was just an addition, a free agent.
Right. I didn't make a claim.
All right. Interesting. All right. Well, we'll look into it. So,
I don't know what it is.
Fun fact: we're shooting this late at night because we are here in Houston, Texas, and
usually we do it in the morning.
Fucking little bitch ass Nicholas came through.
Yeah. We had a tropical storm. Josh didn't have power till like 3.
I gotta tell you, I don't understand the Amish. I don't get it because I go out of my mind almost instantly. Like
when you don't have power.
Last night the power went off at like 1:30. I immediately go into like sweats and the panic and like just depressed and mad and just like fuck. This fucks my day up. Like I had been to the grocery on Monday, so now like today I'm like, all this shit that's in the fridge is just gonna. I guess it's because we just had the freeze storm happen in February, and when that happened, our power was off for like 3 days, and that fucked everything in the fridge was gone. Right. You know, like there was like it was also freezing, so it was awful. Cold. So I think I just had like PTSD from that. I was like, oh shit, get the blankets, get the blankets.
Man, we need electricity, man. We need that shit.
Oh, we need it. How did the Amish people do this?
How did fucking people do it? We've only had electricity for like 100 something years. What the fuck did they do before? Yeah,
so my power didn't come back on until about 2:45. So we shot this later on in the evening.
It's late.
So it was a little different time.
I'm a little tireder now.
Are you? I don't think that's a word.
Yeah, tired or more tired.
Well, tireder is what you said, and
tireder.
I don't think that's a word, but I think it is now. And you know, I don't know about tireder, but I do feel like it was a little different vibe. I'm trying to get better at putting them up on YouTube. Put them in the comments. Tell me what I should do. Tell me what I can fix and how I can make things better. Maybe
stop sucking at fantasy football.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're like, yeah, you started a fantasy football show and you suck at fantasy football. How the fuck does that work?
I was thinking about that too. Like, just do the opposite of what we say.
Well, that's not a bad idea. Sometimes if you want to just listen to us and do the opposite of what I say.
Like, shit, don't do
draft
that.
Najee Harris number 3. You know, then you'll be all right. You know, I'm here to show you what not to do. I'm the example of the bad. You know, so
until next week, then I'm gonna be a genius.
Yeah. But this is another great week on the waiver wire.
Yeah, it's good to be here, man.
We will be back at you next week, and good luck this week. Good luck with all the foosball.
Yeah. Win. Go out there and win.
Yeah, don't be like us.
Yeah, don't suck.
Yeah, brought to you by DraftKings.